You heard Klausy McSchwab's first two records.
Vaccines back, all right. You know nothing, and be happy.
But this one is gonna make your modified mRNA tingle. Time Lies presents Greatest Schwabs, Volume 15. A New World Order in Music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the unvaccinated are still alive. A little bit of Pfizer in my arm. A little bit of BioNTech does no harm. A little Johnson Johnson does the trick. A little AstraZeneca so you don't get sick. It's booster number 5. Let's talk about Vax, baby. Let's talk about Doc Fauci. Let's talk about all the weird and countless side effects, maybe. Let's talk about Vax. Let's talk about Vax a little. Come and take the 7th shot. The 7th shot. With a little luck you get my. Oh! Myocarditis. You won't have to be rich. With CBDC, you'll have all you need with central currency. We just take your extra wealth and your cash. And you can walk 500 steps, but not a single step more until the curfew activates and robot cops stand at your door. Just a small town boy drinking genetically modified soy. This ensures he doesn't procreate. Please stop breeding.
Stop the breeding.
We are almost 9 billion people. Please stop breeding right now. We didn't start a Pfizer. We just made you take it, even if you hate it.
Greatest Schwabs, Volume 15. Now available on Spotify and MRN Apple Music.
I don't care who you are, where you're from. Don't care what you want. You will eat the bugs.
So Willie has what I need. I ordered Willie magazine.
The new Willie means fun and Schwerble.
All right, everyone. So it's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out. This is the look. I'm feeling kind. But before I go out, I've got to pregame. And the only way I pregame is with an ice cold Bud Light. So good.
I don't think I got the audio on that. Hold on. I'm gonna shut him down. And bye. Get you off. What's up? What are you guys doing? Coming to you live from New York. That's New York. Y-A-W-K. Right? What's up? What are you guys doing? So let me back up. Casey's been saying hi. I've been saying hi. Johnny Bravo, welcome. He says, hey, Arch, glad I stumbled into your live feed tonight. Hope you are well. Yes, I am. I hope everybody there is well. Robert says, where are you, Archie? I'm right here, Robert. What's up, Robert? Bravo says, yuck. Real men drink Guinness Stout. Yeah, could you hear that? I couldn't hear it over here for some reason. There's always a bug, you know. There's always something. I'm always screwing up something. I did a live show earlier this week. I did a live on the Cub Cadet. We're going to do a little look-see at that, too, a little update. And I watched back the footage because I'm using some of it in the actual video. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even count all the mistakes. In fact, one of the mistakes I made was I had a light on a stand, and that's good because I had it aimed at the engine. But then I turned it, and then I stood next to it, and the camera straight on, and you see me and that stupid light, right? And I'm looking at him going like, you know better. But I think part of what happens is you get into the it's not a routine. You just get into the moment. You're not really thinking. It's definitely not a routine for me. You know, this is new, doing a live diagnostic. And then, let's see, my friend Tommy called, right, texted me. He wanted to come over because he needed a Tecumseh engine and he needed a Tecumseh coil. So I actually cut some of that out because, you know, after you're done with the live feed, it uploads to YouTube. And then, tell me, fellas, hold on, this is probably a little echo. Tell me if you hear anything. I just shut off the desktop audio, so that should stop any echoing. But if you hear anything funny, let me know. So anyway, I cut that out, and I cut out us shopping for the coil. And then my friend Rob calls me, and he was out in Arizona. He says, I'm coming into New York. His wife had a death in the family, so he's going to come by, and he's chatting away. I'm like, Rob, I'm on a live, right? Can you save it? He was here last night till, I don't know, like 2. So I kind of got up yesterday morning a little bit late to try to rest. Figured I'd take some of the morning to just straighten up a little bit. And I was going to take half the day to, you know, spend with my friend Elizabeth. She came a little early. And so we hung out for a while, and then I worked a little bit late, and then basically by the time I got done and out of the shower, Rob was here till like God knows how late. So I didn't really prepare for a show or anything. I didn't even get everything I wanted to get done, but that's good because I rested today. So we're going to take a look at a couple of things. One of the things is, let me make a little bit of room here. Now, I haven't opened this stuff up yet, so we're going to be looking at a tool. All right, this is, let me see what this is. This should be, yeah, this is real men drink Guinness. Yeah, I know. It's just so weird. All the rapping sounds. It's like Christmas. What's in here? Like this should, Jesus, what the hell hit the roof now? These walnuts have been slamming into everything. Where's my knife? So I want to kind of just show you guys a few things that I did. And I'm trying to put together a video for the Cub Cadet. It's not done yet, but I'm almost done. And this should be the head gasket, I think. Should be. You know, they say, like, it'll come, like, the next day. You know, days later. It comes. And there should be a bolt kit with it. There we go. I don't want to screw it up. Oh my God. Oh, now the chat is showing up? Yeah, that's probably on your end, Casey. We have a storm here, but the wind stopped. The rain is just, it's just wet out. It felt like earlier when the wind picked up and it started raining again, cold air came with it. But then it was cold. And then it changed again, and it's kind of warm in here. I got a window open. Might want to take off this light sweatshirt. Because it feels hot now. So it comes with a bolt kit. And here we go. They wrapped it good. So that's good. As you can hear me fighting with it. Now, I wonder why they are coming with a bolt kit. Now, let's take a peek in here. It should have a bolt kit. I wonder why that is, because usually, I mean, like some of the new heads for like Chevy and Ford or whatever, anytime you break torque first time out, you don't want to replace a head gasket or something, you're supposed to replace the head bolts. And a lot of these, I gotta get this thing. It's actually, you do a head torque and then you have to do a rotational, like a degree thing, and you turn the head bolts like whatever the spec is, so many more degrees. It's an angle, based upon some angular, I don't know. I don't pay attention. I only pay attention long enough to do what I got to do. Let's see. It says Casey says lost internet connection a couple of times today. Do you have a storm over there, Casey? Let's go poke at Casey's channel later. Let's go poke at Casey's channel. All right, so there's little parts, so I gotta be careful. Little lock washers. See, those are kind of like hanging out in here. I gotta be careful. So here's the bolt kit. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's okay because, you know what? I love hardware. And I'll use the old bolts for I don't know what. Oh, crappy company? Yeah. That sucks. That's just not even right. I mean, these days, my friend, one of my friends lives down in Alabama. And he's got terrible internet. Robert, aren't you in Alabama? Oh, good. It came. See, this came with all the gaskets. Let me grab these extra washers. There's a couple of washers here. So there's 2 lock washers, which is good because this is. Just want to show you, fellas. So there's these 2 lock washers, and they go with these. Oh, they changed. Originally it was Torx. This is for the exhaust. Right where it mounts into the head. Okay. And originally it was Torx. Oh, that's a crappy bag. That bag is just not even holding anything. They changed this to Allen. And they give you 2 lock washers. All right. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it's glary in here. Bravo says, I'm in Alabama. Yeah, and we have Fat Nabulous. Yeah, that's my friend. It's like, it's just... His is not as bad as yours. So one of these head bolts gets this big washer. And in the video, I took the second head off. You didn't see this yet. And I made note of as to which one. I think it's the lower left, the very bottom left. I'll just put that there. A nice, fresh V gasket. Right? Robert was commenting on that in the live show. He's like, hey, look at that. I'm like, yeah, that's the head design. I want to show you guys the head. Go get the head in a minute. You guys want to see the head? It's not little. There's a joke in there somewhere. I know. I'm disgusting. Okay. I'm old, and at my age, well, here's how it works. Like at my age, you kind of have some permission, but here's how it works. When you're my age, if you have money, right, you're a sugar daddy. If you don't have money, you're a filthy, disgusting old man. Right? So we get some. This is good. So I got. These gaskets are for the carburetor. And look at them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, to put a carburetor on, because there's a transition piece. I think it's a phenolic. It's a spacer to reduce the heat transfer into the carburetor so you don't get like vapor lock and stuff. Now, I don't know. I ordered, a relatively inexpensive kit. All right. And I was going to do something different, but I'm kind of in a rush. I'm out of time. I want to sell this damn thing. I want to get it out of here. One of the things is that I don't know what's in this gasket. I know there's steel in here, but a lot of engines use a fire ring. And when I get up to get the head, I'll go get a gasket with a fire ring. And fortunately, we've got another one of these. All right. That's the exhaust gasket. I think that's one of the problems with this is that there isn't a fire ring and you don't get a really good seal around the combustion chamber. Now, on the engine that we're working on, you could see that it's leaking, and we'll take a look in a little bit. Yeah, let's see if we catch up. So Casey says, get what you pay for, I guess. Well, how much is it, if you don't mind me asking? Because our internet is not cheap, so... Well, nothing here in New York is cheap on Long Island. It's ridiculously expensive. Like, I can't afford to stay here. And my friend Henry was like, he was like, Arch, you have a commercial on your live. Well, Henry goes, well, I'm not retired like you. And, if I don't start making some money, I'm going to lose the shop. It's just that simple. Things have gotten ridiculously expensive. It can't just be a hobby to give away everything, sadly, because if I were to do that, thank God for YouTube for a lot of us. Really, I mean, it's a blessing. Another she said joke. I love she said jokes. Because I'm like 10 years old. Let's see. Robert says, there you are, Archie. What, Robert, can you see me? KCB says, I could tell you, wife pays all the crap. Yeah, I gotcha. Right? The boss. Yeah. Let me just move these. Let me go get the head, and I'll get something with a fire ring. I just want to move this out of my way. That's it, Arch. Go off camera. That's professional. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm coming. And let me get, whilst I'm here, let me get a gasket. I'm sure there's a gasket around here somewhere. And here I am in the dark. Right. Of course, because it's late. There's probably a gasket around here somewhere. What do I do with them all? Let's see. Do I have any with a fire ring? I don't even think I do have any with a fire ring. See, a lot of the little motors, they don't use a fire ring. And for a little motor, like the small motors, it doesn't really matter. So let me just wipe my hands. My friend that was here, he we were all into cars and stuff, and he still has his old hot rod, 73 Chevelle or 72 Chevelle or something. Beautiful car. It's just been sitting forever since he moved out to Arizona, like, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. And he got married, and like a lot of us, it's like stuff just stops. Yeah. Hey, Rusty Rooster. What's going on, Rusty? I stopped by your channel recently. Rusty, tell us a little bit about yourself. We got to, one of the things I want to do while I'm on the thought of it is, because I go on like Ken Small Engines, and I was on the Lawnmower Lady, and I usually I like to sit in the background and do what you guys do, because I'm a YouTuber. Like, I watch YouTube, right? So they've in a nice way, they've asked me, why don't you come up, and because they have what I call the Hollywood Squares, right? Remember the Hollywood Squares, right? Everybody gets a little box, and Robert says, a Saturday night live stream without Archie is a bad thing. Thanks, bro. So again, shout out to Rusty, but they do StreamYard, and so if you buy StreamYard, like if you rent it, lease it. Let's see, Johnny Bravo says, holy crap, I have a 71 Camaro and drive it almost daily. Old cars rule. Us old guys do too. Yeah, Bravo. I had a mint 69 Nova that was totally custom, won awards, and I sold it because of divorce and health, and I can't even talk about it. But one of these days, fellas, if you don't mind, I'd like to come to terms with that and put together a little montage for a live. I took a lot of pictures. They're pictures. Because in those days, the video side of my video camera, and actually it was the same video camera I started the YouTube channel with. It was horrible, but it took nice pictures. And I do have a couple of videos from like the very beginning of Archer's Garage. It was like a couple of months, like 3 years ago. And I figure we'll just put it up there and show everybody. So anyway, because, Arch can't keep a thought in his head. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah, you do. So, Rusty, as I was saying to Rusty, so they asked me to come up. And so the StreamYard, if you lease it, you can do 1080p, and it unlocks a bunch of features. And it would look like my show, like the quality, because I'm in a very high level of, HD. It's actually, it's just under ultra because it's 1080p. But the fellas usually, use the free version, and that's like 720 maybe, right? It's really fuzzy. It's bad. And I can't do certain things there. But I was thinking in the future, because some of them had asked me, like, are you going to do the heads up style show, the Hollywood Square? I'm like, no, why would I want to do that? First of all, you guys all do it. So I would be stepping on your toes. Number two, I don't know as many people as you guys do. So I would suck at it. Like, why would I want to do that? You know, I'd rather sit in the background and text stuff and make stupid ass comments and have John Clem yell at me, and then he yells at me, and then he makes stupid ass comments. Because if I make him too often, then I take away his routine. See? So let's see. Let me catch up. So Casey says, last time I tried having hot rods, sold my 78 Firebird and 78 Chevy 4x4. Oh, man. We're just breaking each other's hearts. Except for Johnny, right? His heart hasn't been broken this way yet. It says, like selling an arm, you wish you had it. Yeah. Oh, it's funny because of my medical issues and I almost died, going back to the doctors, they started asking me questions about suicide and stuff. And it's a serious thing. It really is. And I'm not going to make light of it. So that's not the intent. But they started asking me in that questionnaire, and do you have any thoughts, or you suffer from any depression? Because then they start sneaking in those questions. And I said, yeah. And because they're thinking, with everything going on and you're really ill and you almost die. And they said, well, what is it? I said, well, I sold my 69 Nova. And they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, no, it's not the divorce. It's not me almost dying. It's not me almost losing the house. It's not, no, other than my daughter, but she's okay now. No, I sold my hot rod of like 30 years. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm still having issues with this. So, let's see, Bravo says, divorced 25 years now, retired, playing with old muscle cars, motorcycles, and snappers. Joke, there you go. And happy as hell, yeah. Yup. And Usha's here. What's up, Usha? Tell him about your book. So Robert says, yeah, he's in Georgia. Hey, Arch, good to see you, buddy. It's Brett. Hey, Brett. So what I was thinking, getting back, I'll finish the thought, was to do like a show where maybe I interview somebody. Because you don't even see this. The fellas don't do this. They don't really do a straight up interview. And what I was thinking is like, well, why don't we just bring on a guest? I wanted to start off with my buddy Zippo, but he's taking care of business, and hopefully he's all okay. And let's everybody, by the way, I haven't heard from him in a little bit, but let's everybody just take a moment out, say a prayer for Zippo, and give him our good thoughts and everything. Because I worry about people and shit. So I was thinking, well, why don't we find some people and do like a 10-question thing with some wild cards, right? Because, Arch has got to have a wild card or two. And maybe I would, ask them if they say yes, I'll send them the questionnaire. It's just a basic question. It's like who are you, how old you are, right? They don't have to answer any of it. And then like, when did you start YouTube? And what's your favorite YouTuber? What is your if you're, we're going to be try to interview YouTubers. So if what of all of your YouTube videos, what is like your top 5 videos or whatever that you did that you really like? Not that you make money on, because look, I have certain videos. We can ask that question too if they don't mind. But again, they have to agree to it. But I have some videos that I really like, and I didn't make them for the money. I mean, there are some videos I tried to make for money, but it's not that I don't like them or anything. But sometimes we do stuff because love. Remember love? Let's see, Backwoods. Hold on, let me catch up. So Backwoods Boy, Small Engines, hey, Arch's Garage, hello. So shout out to Backwoods. So this also, kind of goes to the conversation. It doesn't matter. For the fellas that follow me know that I don't care if you're popular or if you're not popular. I do not care, right? It doesn't matter. I just like YouTubers and people that hang out and do all the stuff that we like. And Rusty says, hey, Taylor. Bleach says, Bleach is here, right? Hey, Bleach. KCV says, I don't make anything on mine. Yeah. And, some I do because, like I said, I'm trying to make some bucks so I can keep the shop. It's that simple. I'm not set up in a job and all that. Because for years, I was a stay-at-home dad because my daughter was really ill. And somebody had to do it. So why not just interview? It doesn't matter whether you're like popular or anything. What does it matter? People are interested in this, and I thought it would be nice to do a little interview, and then if they want to stay as a co-host. And, you know, I would start off with just the free version. The quality would drop. But I could still work around that. I probably wouldn't play all these like intermission movie night things, because I know some of you guys kind of like the movie night. By the way, I just set aside 2 more like movie nights, 70s and like 80s. And I get strikes. It's not really a strike. It's not really a copyright strike. I forget what they call it. But yeah, see, all of these, here's one that, these are all head gaskets. So none of these have a fire ring per se. There's no, but usually you'll see it on a cylinder where this section here is closed, right? So you see a piston with a complete circle, and around that circle will be extra steel or copper, and that'll create a fire ring. But all of these are metallic, embossed, and there is no such thing. You can see here's one that, you know, that this is the E-Series engine, and if you can see it? This is the E-Series engine. Doesn't matter what size, they all essentially blow out at some point. They just blow the gasket out. Is the gasket too thin? Yeah, well, it is pretty thin. I mean, if you think about it, that's another E-Series, and it's got a blowout here. See? But it's no thinner than like a Takumi or a Briggs. Is it just a poorer quality gasket? I don't know. Anyway, so there's no fire rings, and this is just a bigger one. That's like a 10 horsepower or something. I don't know. I don't know, but maybe they use they were using like something with poorer quality. And the other thing is, and I wanted to mention, let me just put this down. So my friend Rob, like I said, who's, you know, still has his car, when we were hanging out, I turned the lights on and everything, and we're walking around, and he looks over at the Slug, you know, the engine with the head off, and he doesn't do, you know, lawnmowers or, you know, equipment like this. And he looked at it because it's 20 horsepower, and he goes, "That's a big Slug." He's like, "That's a big hole. It's a single piston engine." He goes, "Why would they do that? That's huge. You're going to have problems." Yeah, they do. And I was telling, because it's Kohler, and you see this flickering? This is another thing I got to work out. I have some ideas on that. Anyway, I said, yeah, so it's a Kohler, but it's a Chinese Kohler. It's a new one made for the box stores. Unlike my Simplicity Sunstar, which is the older 80s Kohler, twin piston, and with the cast iron block. And he goes, ooh, yeah, spread the loading. It's better torque, better horsepower, it's more durable. I said, yup. He goes, well, yeah, no wonder why this thing's having problems. It's a gigantic single slug motor. How do they even balance it? You know, so that's coming from somebody that isn't really in the field, but he's built motors and he's been around. All of us hot rodded and doing stuff. Just something I wanted to mention. Sit on that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, let me catch up with you, fellas. All right, I got to catch up. So Bravo says, I don't make money on YouTube. I think my most watched vid is a lathe treadmill motor conversion. Yeah, everybody, yeah, check out Johnny Bravo. Yeah, hold on. Let me, before I start talking again here, hold on. Let me get some links. Oh, I want to put a couple of links in before. I'm going to put Johnny and Rooster. I'm just going to type in the name, because on my list of people, yeah, it's huge, because I follow a lot of people. Why can't I type today? Let's see. Here we go. I'll read that out. Is that you? No, that's not you. Johnny Bravo 1. Hold on. Let me come over here and do it. Because otherwise I have to give everybody permission. Let's see. Why am I not getting it? That is not you. I did Cartoon Network. Hold on. Let's copy it. I see why. I'm not saying it right. Here we go. Yeah, he's got some cool stuff. Yep, it's him. Handby. And then I want to do Rusty and the other fella, a backwoods. Okay, so anytime you want, fellas, it'll be in the chat. And you know what? Maybe I'll do... Well, I'm going to put it in the description, too. All right, save it. And Bleach, we all know Bleach. Let me catch up, and then I want to do Rusty. The problem is I don't make money on YouTube. Yeah, you're lazy. I get sad, right? Because I really want to do I did a little bit of machining, and I want to show that on the head, just with my drill press, right? But we'll talk about that in a minute. This is lathe treadmill motor conversion. I just do it for the entertainment. Plus, it keeps me from hanging out in bars and chasing loose women. Yeah, you said that to me before. That's funny, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And then he says, Johnny says, oh, wait, it may be a pressure washer repair for something nobody else ever had a problem with. Fixed successfully. All right, so that's one of his favorites. And Bleach says, it's been raining here, so maybe I will organize the garage a bit if I can find time. The mowing season might be gone if it keeps raining. No, it won't be. Well, maybe where you are, but it's been raining a lot here, too, because I don't know what the hell's going on, but we started off with that big storm that covered over half the country, and then there was another one that came in, and now we got another one, but the lawns are growing again. And there's still leaves on the tree. They haven't even colored yet. Let's hit Rusty Rooster. Where is he? Let's see. There's Rusty Rooster. Get the spelling right. And maybe we'll go poke at you fellas' channels. And just kind of peek in. Here we go. That's cool. I want to go to his actual channel, though. Yeah, because this is one of the videos. Yeah, this is it. That's Rusty. Let me put him in the description. Just drop Rusty Rooster. At the Rusty Rooster. And then the other fellow was, let me, before I get too far away. Okay. Let's see. Now I think it's backwards. Do you have a channel, or is it, let me see. If I'm not on, am I subscribed to you? I thought, what does it say? Yeah, I subscribe to you. Yeah. So here's his. He's got some stuff on there as well. It's got a couple of things going on there, but just say hi, I'll leave a message, and did I grab that link? Yeah. Let's see. Always fun. I've been so busy that I haven't been watching too many people. Yeah, we're gonna peek in a little bit. Let's see. Let me catch up. Bleach says rainfall all next week. Really? Bleach says look up my Deutz Alice 613 that caught on fire. Yes, we got to do that too. Bravo says I have several call outs to you and Jim Jackson. Yeah, you mentioned that. I haven't had a chance to go through your videos because I've been trying to pump out stuff, and it's the end of the season, and whenever I start a tractor, it's always like a week. The one bad thing about tractors is, because I get the crap, is that they suck, right? You know, they suck your time down. This one's got a lot of stuff going on with it. Let's see. Bleach says, I subscribe to Bravo. And Let's see here. There's nothing wrong with loose. Please, wait. Yeah, Rusty's in a spot. Where are you, Rusty? Rusty's in a spot where they're all like in the whole Texas and all that area. Some of those climates there, they've been dry all summer. We had like no rain last year, and now it's just constant. Which, for me, is good because more people are still buying lawnmowers, and I haven't sold one since about a week ago because I don't have any. I've started working on this stupid tractor, which is fun, and I'm enjoying it. And hopefully it will sell. And we'll get into that a little bit before we get into some other things. But the lawns are growing nice, and I'm real happy about that. And we should have a nice fall. I think we'll have good color because last year we didn't, because it was like the death of everything outside. And then it didn't snow. So I went broke, like literally, like without any work, or nobody wanted to service. Everything started getting really expensive. And here where I am on Long Island, either you get like nothing, you get this nonsense that's just mush and slush, which we just don't care. We don't even bother with it here. Or we get many feet, and we get these nor'easters. And so people, when they start kind of getting tight with money, they don't buy anything. They won't service anything. They're just like, forget it. If I can get away with it, and the closer we get to like mid-February, somewhere around there, they're just like, I don't care what happens now. Whatever it is, it'll melt. If it's 4 feet, I don't care. It'll melt. That's how it is up here until you get up north, like further up north. Way up, because New York State's huge. Let's see. Let me catch up. Rosie says, yeah, I know. Wait, hold on. I got to catch up again. Fleech says, nothing wrong with loose women. They need love too. That's awesome. Yes. And same thing with us loose men, right? Us old guys, we need some loving, some little bit of loving. Even just a nice friend or whatever to hang out with and do something, because, women are crazy and everything, and they're different. But, I tell my young friends, I'm like, you have to be strong. My daughter hits me up the other day. I don't even know if I should say this, right? My friend Mikey, my young friend Mikey, she's like, oh, I saw him at, Long Island needs a drag track. I'm like, okay. Is he behaving himself? And then she hits me up. I didn't say anything. And then like the next day she hits me and she goes, we friended each other on Facebook. Oh, and then she said something else. I was like, when am I going to make her famous on YouTube so we can find her a husband? I'm not ready for any of this. This can't happen. Let me catch up. And then Bravo says, us old guys need love too. Yeah, damn straight. Right? I used to say to all the young Phillies that were hanging around here a bunch of years ago, I'm like, my phrase was, help a guy out. Bleach PC says, I will try, Rusty. Robert says, got the Husqvarna back. Blow a fuel line, job done. Nice. He's got, Robert, check out his channel too. Let me go get Robert's channel. Stand by. I'll get through this part. It's good because I could just search it. It's just easier. Where is he? Am I going to have to look for him? Yeah, I'm going to have to go look for him. Is this him? Yeah. This is him. I got like all of his videos. There we go. Let me put this back. I'll close that. All right. Let's put Robert in, and I can catch up on the chat. Okay. All right. So that's good. Job well done. Bravo says, but I have a cat. Yeah, and I got the dog. He's not in here tonight for some reason. I gave him a whole bunch of medication because he was gagging and everything. Because he was really my daughter's dog, and she left, she moved out, and his heart just broke. You know, he's just done. But he gets sick. He gets this thing because he's older now, and he gets full of mucus and he gags. And now you hear in my videos him going, right? And so, well, I try to do is like show that it's the dog, you know, because you're watching me with a mower or whatever and on an engine, and you hear that in the background, and I can't imagine what people must think. It's like, what the hell's going over at Arch's garage? What is going on over there? Let's see. Bleach says bald-headed people need love. Yes, they do. Yeah, because I'm going bald now. Rusty says, I know what you mean, being busy. Yeah, trying to get the last few things out the door and just staying as focused as I can. Rusty's got a really nice shop. Rusty, you moved, right? You moved into that new shop. When was that? That was like early this year or something? I forget. It's just really sweet. I think that was you. Bleach says, hi, Brett. Robert says, thank you for sharing my YouTube channel. You're welcome, brother. Bleach PC says, sub to Robert. Why no link to my channel? Because I didn't get to you yet. Besides, we always cover you. Right? Now, hold on. I'm trying to get there. Because you know how I get sidetracked so fast. And bye. And then Brett, we got to do Brett. And bye. And then Casey. And then you guys just yell out. Let me throw the edit into the description. And then did I do Casey yet? Did I? See, that's why I'm trying to go in some kind of order. So Rusty Rooster says, that's where I work. Yeah. And where is Casey? That's a great name, Zombie Mowers. Yeah, because he brings them home and they're like zombies. And he's got to bring life back into them, you know. That's what we do. There we go. If I missed anybody, let me know. And then I'll put it in the description. There we go. And then Brett. Resident Evil Mower City, yeah. Let's do Brett. So he said I have to put them in. Otherwise, I would just have a moderator allow it temporarily, but I'm not doing that. Did I get that right? I think so, yeah. There we go. I think we're close. So, me not having nice machine equipment. So this is the head. Let's see this. How does this camera look? The light's not that good here. Not having machine tools, but I had mentioned in the video that I had another machine, almost identical, that had a noise in the engine block, and it was loud. So at the end of the video, I said I was going to go outside and go grab it, and I did. It was a long day. Went outside, I grabbed it, set it up, get it ready for wash. I washed it, cleaned it up, started taking a look at it, and then I liberated the head that was on it. And because the head that was on the one machine that we're working on, it ate the valve seat. Valve seat came out, choked up on the valve, and had no compression. So rather than try to fix that, which you can, you know, I don't like it, but you can do it. I said, well, you know what? I got this other machine, this other, you know, Cub Cadet. It's questionable as well. Why not take a look at it? We already know the motor. Like I mentioned, I already knew the motor was just making this ridiculous clacking sound. So I was like, okay, we'll clean it up, take the head off, and somebody was in it. And it looked like somebody went in it to do something, didn't bolt things back properly. They snapped the bolt out of the exhaust right over here. Right there. In the aluminum. Snapped it. But as you can see, it's actually, I didn't have to clean this up a lot. The motor was much cleaner than the motor on the engine that I'm working on the machine that I'm working on. Way cleaner. It was filthy on the outside. Now, here's what I thought, I think is what's going on. It was, when I say cleaner, there is no rust. The motor that we're working on, it's got rust up top, and I'll show it in the video. Now, Henry Muriowski, right, check out his channel. Hold on, I can put a link for Henry. Hold on. Put a link for Henry. Let me see if I can find him without having to search my crap. Henry. It's Big Dog Repair. I can't spell his name. Yeah, wait, there's... Asking Big Dog. So he was kind of like helping out on the live. Here, is this him? Yeah. Oh, look. Yeah, actually, what's interesting is here, this is Henry, and he's actually, well, I think one of his best videos is he's actually fixed one of these engines with a crack in it, and I got the video up right here. Hold on. So he did this whole series on it. So he was there. Let me put his link in. And he did a great job. Completely went over the whole motor. Let me catch up to you guys. Brett's link did not work. Brett's link. Yeah. Hold on. Recopy it. I thought it looked a little funny. Try that. That should work, because I copied it right off of his thing. I promise his Arch, I still bought that cylinder, you trash. Just get it to me. No promises, but I want to try on the mill. I know you do. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, eventually I think we should do something like that. It might be neat. It's just going to be expensive, and I don't have any money right now to ship anything. I don't have any money. This is the problem when you start to run out of money. Rusty says he's in Georgia. Robert Manhouse, Rusty Rooster is in Georgia. Robert says, Bleach says, sub to Zombie, thinking of changing my YouTube channel name to Bleach PC Garage. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Bleach said my link didn't work. I just put it in, and Bleach says, okay, got Bert's link to work. Good. So Henry's, big dog, older guy. He's basically retired. He likes to give me a hard time. I like to give him a hard time. Did an excellent job on these motors. So check that out if you really want to dive deep. Like if you guys want to see what's inside of these crappy Kohlers and what you got to go through. So I think the other machine is about ready to launch a crank. Maybe launch out a connecting rod, or maybe the ACR. I don't know if it's the ACR, because we got it to run and it made this god-awful sound. So cleaned it all off, and one of the first things I look at when I'm cleaning is I'm noticing how much oil and filth is all over everything. Well, that right there tells me there's probably a leak somewhere. And then as I'm taking it apart, I'm kind of going through it, and I check the dipstick. There's nothing in it but some dirt. It was just dirt, but it was dirt on the, black dirt on the dipstick. And then as I'm playing with it, I'm like, that's the noise, right? my thinking is somebody half-assed some kind of repair. The muffler was hanging off. The bolt was broke. There's these two mounts in the front for the muffler here, and they didn't have any screws in them. The face of the head is all busted up. It was like all like blammoed down. I cleaned it up. The motor was super clean, like when I cleaned it off. There was no rust. It didn't seem to be anything. I think somebody tried to do a repair. The head gasket was in decent shape. It wasn't terrible. I'll get it in a bit. Whereas the motor I'm working on, it doesn't look terrible, but it has this age look to it. And you could see like there was a lot of carbon in the combustion chamber. I'll get the head. I'll get the head in a minute. A lot. I think maybe somebody did a crappy repair and didn't put oil in the motor and started to run it. Because that has happened. I mean, I actually have done that where like you go to start it up and, you know, I'm getting interrupted like the day that I was doing my live on the diagnostic and I got interrupted for hours or whatever. And you get interrupted and like, but I've caught myself, you know, it happens. However, I also don't behave like the person that fixed this thing and just like leave bolts off, the muffler's hanging, and like, oh my God. So anyway, I think this will work out good. And I'll go get the other head in a minute. And I'll show you some of the video before we start fooling around with everybody else. But we got to get to the tool too. Because later we can play. All right, we can play. We got to take care of some stuff. So let me catch up. So Brett says, thanks for the sub. Brett says, I don't think Kohler actually built some of those Courage engines. They're Chinese. It says right on it. Oh, you know, like I said to my friend Rob, I said, it's Chinese. I said, it's not like my 80s Kohler Magnum 20 built here of real stuff. And so to add to that thought, most people don't like these Kohlers with no courage. It ate the valve seat. Let me go get it. I'll get a light too. And the head gasket. I need a rag. Well, I don't think you could do enough to these engines, you know. Oh, let me get the gasket too. I know. Somewhere around here. Yeah, I got it. All right, here we go. Now, the gasket that's on the engine we're working on, it's on the engine we're working on, and maybe I'll show some pics of that or like a little video footage in a little bit. Bruce Penda says to me, because everybody complains about that chair, and I was on the show with Lawnmower Lady, and she's trying to talk, and she doesn't have a deep voice, she's a woman, and she would go to talk, and you'd hear, and she's like, ah. And Bruce said to me later on, he's like, you know, it's annoying. He's like, but I forget the words he used, but he's laughing. He goes, it's almost like your signature thing. He's like, maybe you don't want to fix that. I like his humor. Let me catch up to you fellas. Brett says, and for your information, Arch, those engines are notorious for shaking themselves apart. Right? Like I was saying earlier to my friend Rob, like we were both saying, like, how does it balance? Like, it's so damn big. It's going to vibrate and, like you're saying, shake itself apart. Bleach says, Kohler did not have the courage to build them engines well. Yeah. Bravo says, thank you for the sub, Bleach. I hope you find some stuff of interest. I do a lot of electric stuff with solving problems other folks don't usually cover. Very cool. And Bleach says, anyone else getting ads in the live? Yeah, you're going to get some ads. I put a few ads in. You won't get many. It'll show anything I can do to get a couple of dollars, because like I'm really that hurting, and I don't want to ask for money. I don't do that, but I'm like, just you gotta have to just try to deal with it. It sucks, you know. In a lot of ways, YouTube actually saved my ass, like saved my life, because I was in such a bad way after the hospital and everything that was going on. I'm like, I need a hobby. and I need more money, and I need a hobby. Like I need something to do to keep me from literally becoming depressed and insane. And the two of them kind of, I often say that like it's part of the business and it's part hobby. And sometimes, well, a lot of times I get confused as to which one is what. And that's a nice place to be. So, Bleach says, you're welcome, Bravo. Yeah, Bleach, watch the ads. Yeah. That's the best thing. You know what I do with some people is I let the ad run. Because I know what it's like. And if you let an ad run, you know, like maybe one or two in whatever video you're watching, just let it run. It's no big issue. I mean, most people let the ad do the ad thing at the beginning of their show. And that's it feels annoying. Like if you're doing a how-to and it's a short how-to, I know sometimes you're trying to find an answer to something and you don't know if that person's going to give you the answer, and then you click on it and the next thing is you get an ad. Now, in my regular video, I don't know what YouTube is doing with the ads on the live because I just started doing that. In my YouTube videos, I choose where the ads go. And I usually create these cuts, these little segments or segues, and I'll say something like, all right, fellas, we're going to test it when I get back. And then it'll go a little bit of black, and then that sends a signal to YouTube if they want to put an ad there, or I'll put a marker there. I usually check it, but I don't generally have to because I know YouTube will put a marker there. And then there'll be this Archer's Garage swoosh or a super clean swoosh or some silly thing that I put in there with, has something to do with people that are cutting stuff off that they shouldn't be cutting off and everything. I'll just put, or cool lawnmower or whatever. And then you come in, you get an ad. The ad is interrupting nothing really. And by the time the ad is over, or if you click next, then you're going to come into, all right, fellas, let's go test this machine now. And I think that's like the best of both worlds. Is like you try to figure out where to put them in. You don't overdo it. And Lawnmower Lady actually said, because she's like really into this stuff, I think she comes from the film industry, because she knows a lot. And she says you can put the markers for the ads. You want to put them every few minutes. YouTube will not fill. They should not fill your video because they figure where the ads go. That's just a marker that you think is a good place, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get an ad there. And depending upon the ad campaigns because YouTube buys these things, they work out these deals, and depending upon the ad campaigns, you may not even get an ad. You might get a high quality ad. You might get not a high quality ad. The low quality ads don't pay anything. So it's a bit of a hit of a miss. Bleach says, you're welcome, Bravo. Rusty says, yeah, Bleach, watch the ads. Brett says, Cola should hang their heads in shame for putting their name on that shit. Yeah. Bleach says, I got a ad for Summer Breeze. Yes. Do you feel fresh? Right. You remember these old ads, right, from like the 90s or whatever? One of my favorite ads was it's not your mother's tampon. And the first time I saw that on the TV, I was like, whoa, you stop that. Don't talk about my mother's tampon. Right? They're like, it's not your mother's tampon anymore. I'm like, stop. Will you stop that? Right? There's some of these bizarre ads. Oh, I want to get that ad. I'm going to put that in one of my videos. It's just so wrong. Yeah, I heard that song earlier. Seals and Cross. Summer Breeze. It's not your mother's tampon. Throw it in the garbage before you leave. It ate the seed. Oh, it's horrible. I want to see if I could get a little bit more light on it. But look at all this carbon. Will this help? Hold on. What did I just do with the flashlight? This light might strobe. Yeah, that's no good. Oh, that might work. You see all of the carbon? I didn't clean it. But Henry said it might have overheated. Oh, right. Well, shut this off. All right. So it may have overheated. Now, as I mentioned, my friend, the exhaust valve is the one that ate the seat. Now, typically, when you see this is the combustion chamber. So when you see the gasket and the way it's leaking and the darkness on everything there, this is a lot of carbon. Even the spark plug had a lot of carbon on it. And usually when a exhaust valve is running correct, it's not carbonized. It's more of a tan. And then if it's getting really hot, it'll go gray to white. If it was gray to white, I would say, yeah. I would say just on that alone, it got hot and the seat fell out. When you're talking about these motors, they just fall apart. So it's kind of hard to say that it overheated because they just fall apart. And what you'll see in either tonight or the subsequent videos is you'll see this yellowy tinge on the walls of the cylinder. It's a glaze, okay? Now, sometimes that could be indicative of heat, but considering how much carbon is all over everything, it's more like gas wash. And that gas wash will glaze the cylinder, which means the rings are also kind of glazed up. So it's got both engines have a beautiful crosshatch, 60-degree crosshatch. So I'm probably going to go in there and take a little bit of sandpaper or Scotch-Brite and just try to remove that glaze because it won't seat right. It won't seal right. Basically, a glaze, think of it this way. I finally figured out how to explain this. A glaze is a weird thing on a cylinder wall, and it usually occurs from gas washing before you wear the shit out of the cylinder wall. And, well, you make plastic through petroleum products and heat. And you've got the oil coming in from the engine, the heat, the steel, the aluminum, and then you've got all this extra gas. And essentially what it kind of makes is a plastic coating, which is not what you want, right? You're gas washing. Let me see. I heard that song. Bleach says, I think there is something wrong with the idle governor on my 8 horsepower Briggs on my snapper. I may try to adjust it. Grab your camera. By the way, did you get your new camera running, Bleach? Grab your camera and set it up on a stand and see if you can really capture you doing that, like the before and the during and the after. You don't even need to make a long video out of it. Make like 10 minutes so you can get a commercial in. So what? All right, get like 10 minutes if you're doing it. Let's hear it, and explain it. Brett says, summer grease. Yeah, made it to Caesar, burning up the belts on my mower. Bleach goes, laugh my own, Brett, summer grease monkey. Is that my future board job? Yeah, right. I know. Bravo wants to play with his machines. I want machines too. Actually, in my area, because it used to be very, industrial. Now it's just Walmart. Bleach says, I use Super Tech oil, Wally Mart oil. Yeah, I don't know if that's any good. I don't use it. I mean, it's probably okay, but, I use, the hell do I use? I forget. I'll think of it in a minute. What is it? Not Gulf. The stuff we use in the diesel engines. I show it all the time. I don't know why I can't think of it. I'll look in a minute. As soon as I drink. It's just slipping my mind. Hold on. Summer grease makes me feel... Yeah, the Shell Rotella. Yeah, Shell. Hold on. Let me get seated. Try to sit down. I like the Rotella. The Roteller. Here's a shameless advertisement, a non-paid advertisement for Shell Rotella. Right? I used a 15W40. Well, I got to write back to a couple of fellas that hit my channel up, and they were surprised. Why such thick oil? Isn't that kind of thick? And this is the T5. It's just a synth blend. You can get it pretty cheap. It's not expensive. It has all the extra goodies and additives. It's a little thicker, but what I want to write to the fella and explain to him, and I've been explaining it when I show me using it a lot now. I'm trying to show in a lot of the vids that haven't even come out yet. Like a lot of the engines I get, they're older. Like they are. Like they're not like newer lawnmower services. People here don't service their lawnmower. They break it. And then they go, I need a tune-up. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, does your, I think it just might have something, maybe you just need to clean the carburetor. Okay. Does it run? No. Okay, then it's not a tune-up, ma'am. That's a service and a repair. A tune-up is like $90 around the corner if your engine's running. If you bork the whole thing up and there's water in the oil and the gas and everything else, and your blade is crap, and no, that's a full service and cleaning and everything. That's not a tune-up. That's what I get, and just beat the crap. Let me catch up. It's like the Super Tech, Dello. Bleach says, I have 2 cameras now. Nice. Yeah, that's why I want to see it. What's going on with that? I'm like itching to see what you do with it. Bleach does some cool stuff. Let's see there. Bleach says, they're from the early 2000s. Yeah, Rusty says, I got those vitamins and small engine needs. Yeah, it's got those vitamins. It does. And like I said, I'm not doing the nice stuff. All right, I don't have any contracts. Like Rusty's got stuff that he does for a lot of people that are like pros. I do stuff for people that are hosed. I get the crap, which is okay, because I'm making some money doing it. I'm happy to have it. I meet a lot of really nice people. Like 90-something% of my customers are the salt of the earth. We hang out and chat and everything. In fact, one of the fellows just hit me up. He had a problem starting his machine, and then I don't know, maybe it rained and everything. I just sold it to him. It was a really nice pool and with a Honda engine on it. It's a really nice bodied, like big steel body pooling with all the bells and whistles, and I don't know why it's not starting for him. But I gave him some ideas, and I said, if that doesn't work for you, bring it back. I'm not going to charge you a lot. It's not going to be anything serious unless you hit something. So Johnny Roberts says, I use my Samsung phone cam plus a couple of Victor cheap sports cams 4K. Ooh, what are those? Holy moly, they do fantastic video resolution. Really? I'll have to look into that. Because I was talking about to my friend, he wanted to give me a cheapy 4K kind of thing like that. And I guess with the stress of having to come out last minute to New York, he forgot to bring it. So he's just going to send it to me. I said, but why don't you, he offered. So anyway, we could fix this, but, and you could see, by the way, I super cleaned it and pressure washed it. And it's still that filthy. So you could say heat, but with these motors, they just come apart. Let me put it down. And then here's the gasket. Let me put the other one down too. Now Mikey keeps telling me, he goes, just put another motor on it. I'm like, I have other motors. But considering I have all of these parts, and I've been wanting to get these 2 machines out from being buried for years. And it's the end of the season. It would be nice to sell one and go through the parts. Like I had to change some tires. For all I know, the machine that I'm working on with the engine, that machine's got a stuck transmission. So these are automatics. Something's stuck. I could see the rod is bent because I checked both of them. The rod is bent, and so the valve in the valve body is stuck. Now maybe it'll free up, maybe it'll be fine. I already changed the 2 front tires. Somebody changed one of the front tires because it's gray. And it's supposed to be white, and it's got the little the little titties sticking out of it. The other one kept going flat, so I just grabbed the better tires, a match set from the parts machine. But for all I know, what might wind up happening is we might get this motor running pretty good, and the tranny might be crap, and we might wind up taking it off and putting it on the other body, which I'm still fine with that. It's going to cost me more time. but we'll be building one machine from parts. Whatever's left over is next year's issue. Let's just get rid of it and go through it and make a nice video. Might be 2 videos or whatever. I think it'll be fun either way. So let's see. Bleach says, I will try before snow. Might not be good to adjust governor in cold temperatures. Sure, why not? Give it a shot. It's not going to hurt anything. Brett says, Charlie just meowed. Hi to you, Arch. Yeah, how's he doing? And the rest of the guys. He's listening to the show with me. He's on my lap. Nice. Yeah, my fella's inside. He finally went in because he's just been out here constantly. So it's good that he's in the house for a little while. Besides, I doped him up. I gave him, because he was really bogged down with mucus. He was really struggling to breathe. It sounded like he was breathing underwater. So I've been giving him every night one, what is it? It's not a decongestant, it's an antihistamine. And then when this happened once before and it got real bad, we put him on steroids. So I was talking to my daughter about it. I'm like, let's start him on steroids and the antihistamine at night, and then I give him a painkiller every other day. It's just like doggy Motrin. But we'll leave that out tonight, and we'll just give it to him for a week. And he's kind of knocked out. He's breathing better. He's not blowing snot all over the house. Because when he sneezes, he raises up in the air, and it sounds like a horse. And he comes down and slams his snout into the ground. And then he gets a bloody nose. So we'll try to stop that. Let's see. Charlie just meowed. Arch, the rest of you guys. Yep. Rusty says, Arch, just because you can fix that head doesn't mean you should. Yeah. That's my worry. Yep. Now, Rusty, because of the YouTube, I'm always willing to do something once that I may not really want to do. That isn't worth the money-wise. I'm willing to do it once because it's a YouTube thing. If I wasn't on YouTube, I would put a different motor on it. I got them. What I really want to do is sometime like this winter is I've got this really cool rolling cart, super heavy duty. There was this old 70s generator on it. And I did like a video or whatever on it. It was too long. It didn't do well. Anyway, the cart is really cool. And I was thinking about taking the old Briggs 17 horsepower points motor. By the way, that motor, I took a 17 horsepower old school Briggs motor points and I put an E-Series coil on it. And I showed how you can modify an electronic coil and stick it on one of these engines. And you have to get the polarities right because a lot of times the magnets are in the wrong direction. And it ran good. And the thing was, it was an old generator, right? And the generator was just shot. Anyway, this stand is made like a brick shithouse. So one of the things I started doing with the stand is I started making like a run-in rig, like a portable, roll it around. And I thought, I have a table that I usually use, but I thought maybe for a bigger motor, like a 20 horsepower motor or something, maybe I'll turn it into like a run-in stand for one of these bigger tractor engines. And I've got a whole bunch of tractor engines in tractors that I need to go through. I need to liberate the parts from. And then I got a couple few motors laying over here in the alleyway here between the buildings that are completely questionable. All of these need to be tested before you stick it on any tractor. So usually with the smaller motors, I have this little sort of run-in table with a hole in it, and that's what I use to test. But I would like something a little bit bigger, make a project out of it, and then go through a bunch of these motors. And then clean up these tractors that need to come apart, and then start inventorying this stuff so that when I run into a problem like this, I can just make a quick decision. And because it's taking up all this room, too, in the yard, because they've got all these derelict tractors back there. Joe Z's here. We got to put up Joe's link. What's up, Joe? Hold on, we got to put up Joe's link. Let me catch up. And see, Darren's on his lap, so Darren says hello to everybody. Johnny Bravo says, Black Cat, I can't freaking spell. It's an engineer affliction. Yeah. Brett says, Charlie may be the oldest, but Minnie is in charge. Yeah, there's usually one. Brett says, and Charlie is doing good. Good. Josie says, hello to everybody. We got to put Joey's link. Joey, I put up. Everybody's linked today in the chat and also in the description. So if you want to check, if you don't, have a link or whatever to some of the fellas that are coming and going tonight, check later in the description, and in some of it's in the chat too. So let me go get Joey's. Another excellent channel. Let me get his. And I'm just doing the search because I'm not going to be weeding through my 600 some odd people that I've subbed to. Here we go. There we go. A lot of times I go to people's channels. Is this him? No, that's not him. That's a guitarist guy. This is Joe. That's Joseph. Hold on. Let's see. That's not him. Oh, I may have to. Let's see. Am I getting it right? Let's go for videos. I'll see his face. Oh, that guy's Josie? I didn't know his is the same similar name. He's like all over the place, this guy. All right, let me see. Let me catch up. Joey, hello everybody. Johnny Bravo, I get you. Since I don't do anything for money any longer, I just do it for fun. Yeah. Or help somebody else out. Yeah, that's a nice place to be, Let's see, Josie. Message retracted. Robert, meow meow to your cat shop. Talk with Brett. Bleach B says, hey Joe. Brett says, hey Joe, welcome to the show. Bleach says, hey Joe, what do you know? Hey Joe, what do you know? Bleach always makes me laugh. It does. Brett says, hey, he says, hi Robert. Meow. Yeah. I like to read everything out. A TGM form. Yeah, we got to get to him too. Hold on, let me catch up. Let me find Joey Z. Why can't I searched for it. Hold on. Let me shut up for a minute, see if I can find it. I'm going to have to go to my channel. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't know why. Well, let me open up Arch's Garage. I was actually just looking at something he did. Let's see. Am I catching up? Lewis Mowers. Why didn't I just see him? I think he just did. Here he is. He just did a short. Yeah, this is it. All right, I'm coming back. And then we want to do TM. Now that should work. Let me put it in the description. And let me catch up. I'm the kitty gotta love me. TGM Forum says hi all. Let me go. Let's do a quick search for him. Welcome again. Welcome. And did I subscribe to you? Let me see if I can find you. It's like, do you have a channel, TGM? I just want to make sure, because last time we were chatting, you were on. I wasn't doing this. So we were talking about doing interviews of people on a live show, right? Instead of doing like an all-up, Hollywood Squares variant. Let me keep going. And it just jumped on. Having all these mowers are an issue. Same here, yeah. Bleach says, hey, TGM. Josie says, thank you. Brett says, now Charlie is doing the Briggs and Stratton thing. Purring, yeah, like that 5 horsepower motor from the 80s, remember? And I still didn't get a chance to do that live show. I'll get to it. But when we started that thing up, and like as a will it run, it purred. And the gas tank was an absolute piece of junk inside. Yet, it hadn't been running years, and the thing just purred. It runs better than the new 6 horsepower overhead valve Briggs, I think. That thing ran really good. Yeah, so yeah, I know Joseph, Josie. It's Joseph 54, right? Why I couldn't find it. He's got a nice simple logo or icon logo, which is nice, clear. TGM Forum's got a nice one too, simple. Eric Clark, hey Eric. It's turkey time up here. Nice. Let's just. Yeah, we're getting close to that too. Here, you're still a little bit further away. Let's see. So, Eric, I want to kind of catch up with you too. Well, you're the one that does all of the travel videos, or which one? What do you do? Or we just try to catch up. We're trying to post links and check each other's channels out today. And some of you fellas are new, which thank you very much. I'm glad you're here. But we want to try to. That's what we're doing as part of. Those are the spontaneous things that Arch does, you know. So I'm trying to make a mess of everything is what I'm trying to do. Bravo says shop kitties are the bomb. Josie's trying to type in this. Yeah, yep. So we got you, Joe. I got you also. Remember, everybody, check the description. It's in the video either now or when it uploads. Brett says just keep Elmer at bay, Bleach. Brett says we had an old snapper edger we just sold, 2 horsepower Briggs, and it purred too. Yeah. I got one. I got a beautiful one. And I wanted to try to do it this year. It's really cool. It's got that weird green and orange. I love it. All right, this is the gasket. That's why I say maybe somebody tried to fix it. And another thing I show in the video, this is the parts engine I took the head from. I tried to show, you could hear the sound. So as the head's off. So I'm turning the motor over and I got the camera real close with the mic. And I'm turning and you can hear the click. And I could feel it. It was almost like a thump. It comes up through the flywheel and through the plastic. And I could feel it and you could hear the click. Because this thing was running, but it was screaming this sound. So I think maybe there was such a schlock that they tried working on it and they forgot to put oil in it and start it up. But again, you don't know. Yeah, okay, good. Hold on, I'm catching up. Bleach says, my shop bunny gave me my weed, gave my weed to the crow and my weed flew away. Really? Eric Close, yeah. Happy 45 snapper owner from, yes. Yeah, he got a $45 snapper. And I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, that just won't happen here. It's like $100 minimum if it runs. If it doesn't run, I don't think it matters. It's at least $100. So he scored on that. Fun has been given my bunny shat. Yeah, Lee says. TJ Fornes, yes, I'm just about to get my first 100 subscribers, currently at 99. Well, let's go put TGM over that tonight. Stand by. Brett says, this one was an 88 model, red and white, Toronto Red Knights colors. That's our, high school football team. Cool. Yeah, we have red and something else. All right, hold on. That's is Eric. And just to validate, to make sure. Right, so it's travel videos. Okay, I just subscribed. Stand by. Oh, wow. Wow, I gotta check this out. Yes, just about to get my subscribers. I hope to get my 2005 snapper running. Yeah. All right, check that out. Eric. And I want to, TGM, where, I think this is, let's see, YouTube, Eric Clark, TGM. I'm trying to figure out just the last couple. TGM Forum. I have a whole bunch of videos here. And let's see if I could get to... Okay, that's not it. Stand by. Let me research. TGMF or M Forum. get a lot of TM forums. Let's see. Why am I not picking it up? I get a lot of TM forum. Let's see if we could solve this here. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Is it something to do with the browser or something because you're UK? All right, here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to solve this the other way. Hold on. And boy. All right, what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can fix this here. Josie says, when I first started my channel and picked the name Josie, I thought it was like an email. If the name is already used, you could not use it. Then after I started, I found that there are hundreds of Josie channels. Yeah. Bleach PC says, travel vacation videos. Arch and the fart. Yeah, yeah. All right, let me do... All right, TGM, what I want to do is you have some limited permissions, and I want TGM to shove... Hold on. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Oh, wow, is it not letting me do it? Wow. Wow, won't let me. That's weird. Hold on. Yeah, it won't let me add you as a moderator. That's so weird. You got to send me an email. My email is right here. Okay. Bravo says, the number on my old Snapper 8 horsepower motor is an 88. The mower is older. As engine was replaced later in life. It's just so weird that, you should... Ridiculous. They should not burn out. It is at least 35, likely more like 40. It should be running by mid this week. Nice. And Brett says, my mod stays carried over from last week. Yeah, that's just weird. Like I can't do anything with TGM. I don't know. Who knows what's going on? I don't know. All right, so what I want to do now is let's check out the tool, and then maybe we'll just check out some other stuff in a minute, and then we're gonna go play around. Let me open up the tool. Find out what's going on with this. The tool. I see it on the pictures, but you guys are getting first look because he says, he said tool. Yeah. Joe says it just got back from Eric Clark's travel channel. Nice. Nice. So it's ooh. Wow. I don't know if I should have this. It might be too sophisticated for me. I have directions. And I'll let you know what company it is. They actually sell a lot of automotive stuff too. And for some reason or other, the company name is not coming to me. It better be in here. If not, I'll have to go to my inbox. And I got to figure out how to use it, right? But what's nice about this is you get to use your grinder with it. Let me switch here. It's kind of neat. You set the blade in. So I have no idea how to use this yet. It comes with directions. I was looking at this online, and it's, you can adjust your angle. And we'll do a proper look at it soon. Because after I'm done with this machine, well, I got to set up some blades for it too. So we're going to set blades up on this tractor as well. And it holds the blade, and then you use your angle grinder, and you kind of go over it. And what I like about that is I have that new grinder, a nice new Milwaukee, which I'll get. So bag of hardware, nice hardware. And then there's these brackets. Let's open it up. Now, let's see, is the company name here? I'll have to put that up. Yeah, let me open up my email. Let me do that right now. This way, I can actually show you the company. I just started working with them. Hopefully things work out good. Let's see. Okay, it is here. So let me copy the link. So it is GSTPAautoparts.com. I'll put the link in the description as well. And then I want to grab the web page for it. Hold on. How do you do with it? Here it is. Okay. Am I? All right, put that in the description too. All right, and so they're giving you a basic setup, and it kind of sits. See, their pictures are terrible. But I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. It basically just locks the grinder in, and then it kind of sits in this cradle here. And then you got the blade, and it does this kind of thing like this, something like that. I don't know. It's got these brackets and everything, and you kind of just dress it over. It just kind of locks the grinder in, and there's this nut or thing here that you can adjust the angle. But what I like about this is it's built. It looks like it's built really well. So it's not a plasticky piece of junk by any means. The construction is very good. What we need to validate is it quick, easy setup, and when we go to use it, is it going to be comfortable to use? Is it going to feel wonky? It's not going to move around. The mounting bracket is here, which you can mount it to a table, which is kind of nice. Or you can lock it in a vise, like I have a vise outside. Because sometimes I like to do it outside. And one of the reasons why I like a grinder is, let's get some more view of it, is I put a flapper wheel on it. which I'll go get in a minute. And I like to clean my blades. Well, hold on. Well, I clean everything. You guys know. I'm coming. Marge is just all over the place tonight. I'm speaking in third person, fellas. That's weird. All right, let me catch up to you fellas before I go babbling on. Let's see. So we got back from Eric's channel. Oh, Harbor Freight ads with huge bucket on those scary jack stands. Yeah. I really want to go back over my ads if I can and try to just, I mean, it's nice to have a Summer Breeze ad in every now and then just for laughs, but I really kind of want to get those kinds of ads rolling. And they just changed the way they do ads now. So I'm not sure what's going on because I haven't really looked into it. But I would like to just have the ads for the things that I like, that we like. And that's really what I would like. But, you know, I don't know if there's any money in that. Brett says, speaking of Harbor Freight, I finally got to have a hands-on on a Predator 212 engine. Not bad for the price. Yeah, they're not bad at all. That's why everybody uses them. You know, Harbor Freight has got some cheap stuff, mid-grade stuff, and then some decent stuff. So I'm good with that. Joe says, I watched a couple of videos on this tool. Looks like it should be a time saver. Like everything else, they took a jump in price since I first looked at them. Yes, well, everything is going that direction. It just is. You know, I tell some of the people the prices now. I had to raise up a little bit. And some of them are like they're looking at me, they're like, well, it should be this. I'm like, dude, that was like 4 years ago. What time zone are you living in? Bleach says, I'm going to do a review on the Harbor Freight bucket. Yeah, you should. It's a great idea. Brett says everything has. Joe priced out a new Toro Time Master, $1,600 with the electric start version. Yeah, and even that's not bad. I just put up that short for the Toro Time Master, whose time has come. Right, everything is in really good shape except the deck is rotted out completely. So I found a couple of decks on eBay for like $100. Well, probably a little bit more than that now, but I think it's worth it. And I'm hoping sometime early next year or whatever, I'll get to that. Maybe the winter. I don't know. I think that would be nice. Joe says $72.99. This is, $80. Less than what I was looking at. Must be a different company. Could be. At least the ads are shop related. That's what I want. I really want to be able to do that. And another way around it, fellas, is to try to come up with companies that will promote you and you can promote them and you make some money and control the focus of the channel and make some money and offer some stuff. I want to be able to show things that I use, that I like. So what I was saying was, so I just picked this up. This was on one of the videos too, live videos and a regular video. Just love these. Okay. Now I've got two. I got the electric one, corded one. That's nice because it's lightweight. And I like, I used to like to do a lot of fabrication and stuff. So I also have air powered cutters, and grinders. But this is nice because if I just need to do a blade real fast, I can go outside. And I was thinking, because I really don't want to do it in here. I really don't. Or maybe the garage, but the garage is a mess and I need to set up a place for it and it will make more of a mess. I was thinking, well, what if I lock this thing in the vise that's outside? Right? Just lock it into the vise and see how it goes. I mean, I'm going to mount it to a table because I want to do like a review on it. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet. But we'll do a review on it and show it how it's meant to be used and then show it how I'm going to use it. right? Which is, hopefully, because that's the thing. Because I don't want to leave it outside. Even though this is well coated and it looks nice and it probably would survive being outside, it's a pretty nice tool, and I'd rather have it looking like this with some dust on it and grinding debris. But I don't want to leave it out. So I want to be looking into that. We'll do some kind of a review on it. I wanted to give you guys, just got it, just started working with the company. I have to check out the rest of their stuff. I also have to do a review on that little polisher, which we're going to try out on the Cub Cadet. We're going to throw the polisher on. I got the 2 hoods. One hood I pressure washed and it came pretty nice. The other hood I pressure washed and it's all stained. So we're going to do some work on that and test this tool out and see what's going on with it and see if we can, because they're white hoods, plastic, So we should be able to polish that up and let's see how it does. So I got to do that. They've been on me. I asked them to be patient because I get really busy and I can't, my channel isn't just about tool reviews, which would be nice. Like that, I wouldn't mind doing that, like a section of Arch's Garage where I do a lot of tool reviews. Because I love tools. I like nice tools, Brett says, your poor Time Masters all ate up. Yeah. Hope you get a deck for it. I will. I will do that. That's on the list of things to do. I think that would be fun. It would make a nice machine. Honestly, I'll tell you, for my yard, I should keep it and, throw Mikey some cash because he picked it up. And he was like, can we do anything with it? I'm like, yeah, let's just go see. And while we were hanging outside checking it out, I'm like, dude, everything, we still have to validate it. And I said, why don't we, when I get a chance, I'll put some fuel in it, make sure there's oil in it, and try to get it running, like actually running. Nothing fancy, just like with maybe clean the carburetor or something. And then before it completely falls apart, let's check the spindles, let's check the drive, let's make sure the engine is running good, make sure all the cables are still decent. Just make sure all of that is good. And if all of that is running, then we're good to go. Because we just went, while we were hanging out there, we're sitting in the yard, and we're like, well, let's go to eBay or something and see if we can get a deck. And I was like, whoa, what's with this? Why are they, with all these decks for these things? I'm in. And for my yard, it's actually a really good machine for my yard because it's long and there's a lot of property, but it's narrow. And I don't have like a really big yard. Like I love to use my Sunstar because it's so maneuverable. And when I'm tired and I don't feel like walking this yard, I like the Sunstar or whatever, the Snapper or whatever, take your pick. Let's see. Joey says I'm doing repairs, give them choice of buying. Okay, so Joey says, by the way, I like to read everything out because, just so you guys know, one, because I like to read everything out, but in case, because like, a lot of times when I watch other people's lives, and that's why I don't often go on other people's live shows, because I want to sit back like this. Hold on, let me put this thing down. Stand by. I gotta take a leak in a minute. I like to sit back because, I get tired because I'm making videos and working on greasy stuff. And I like to just sit back and I'm sitting here. Now, I don't usually do it on my phone, but a lot of people are on their phone. And if you're watching the show, like even with my big monitors, I'll just put the show up on whoever's show up on one monitor, one of these monitors, and I'll go full screen and I block out the chat. Now, I don't really want to, but I just want to watch the show. And every now and then what I'll do is I'll go on my phone, which most people watch everything on their phone, right? But I'll go on my phone and I'll bring up the show and I'll just bring up the chat on my phone. So I'll be watching the show and then every now and then I'll look at the chat and I'll make my stupid ass comment with my feet up. And then I lay it down and I go back to looking at the show. And I know, like, you may not have the chat window up. Some people are like me. And they just want to watch the show. They don't really want to. So I want to be able to read out everything everybody says. Because really, my shows are really more about you fellas. Honestly. Which is another reason why I don't really want to do the all up Hollywood square. Because what tends to happen, even though you get those... we call it lower third. in film and video and everything. It's text and stuff that comes up on the bottom. But a lot of times it just goes by so quick. And the fellas tend to just talk to each other. And if there's a question and it stays up long enough, then they'll respond to it. But most of the stuff they're just ignoring, and the people are saying stuff and they never really get heard. So Joey Z says, on the repairs, I give them the choice of buying the parts themselves. This way they know what they have. And a lot of people don't like doing that because they can't warranty the job. And but a smaller operation, you can kind of do that. You can get away with it. Especially if you know who your customer is. Bleach says, I was joking about the summer breeze. Some reason I got Pampers ads on my channel. Nice. That was a good, because Bleach says this funny stuff. It's fun. Johnny Bravo says, another she said joke. Of course. Yeah, I just put another one of those she said things in the video I'm working on. I had to slip that in. When Michael comes up and goes, that's what she said. And then he's with that lady that's trying to take control of the office. You know, the office. She's like, Michael, stop it. That was just great. I know. Oh, my God. Yeah. Bleach says, I wish I could get sponsored by Harbor Freight and could do tool reviews for them. Enjoy their tools I own. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, like, I was listening to another show today about, like how to rage on YouTube. And I watch a couple of fellas, what's his name? Cannon or whatever his name. Anyway, I watched some of these fellas that talk about like how to kill it on YouTube. And he had on a guy that made like a couple of $1 million in a few years doing like ad revenue and everything. And they were talking about, well, how do you get to that point? If you're willing to specialize in something, you'll get sponsorship. Like, you have to really specialize in that. And you can do tool reviews and stuff. And if you can show that you're capable of driving a channel and it's all really organized and they like the way you do it, even if you don't have a lot of views, you can start doing revenue with Amazon and companies like that. One of the Chinese companies that sent me that, it's that electric pressure washer is, who the hell is it? It's got that weird name. I just said it the other day. Oh, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's just a weird name. It's the Mr. Lian's pressure washer. And what I like to do is, in some of the washing segments occasionally show, for the past year, I come back to the machine and I just show it real quick. I give a date, like a timestamp. It's spring 2023, fellas. It's how many months later. So let you know, I'm still using it. I use it all the time. It's still going good. A couple months later, I'll do the same thing. And I send those links over to the company. And I let them know it's not really a review. It's like, I did the initial review. I did the initial, the unboxing. And then I did another of demonstration as well. And then periodically, I just let them know that I show it to whoever's watching and let them know that the thing is still working. Because I use it a lot. I like it. I like this, Mr. Lian's, right? There's another name too. I can't think of it. It's got like two names. It's weird. It's a weird naming. The Chinese have a hard time understanding our language and how we name things. So they do the best they can because it's a very different language. So they don't really understand it. Let's see. So Brett says, wish Simpson would sponsor me as much as push their pressure washers. Yeah, so Brett does a lot of that. I mentioned to you, Brett, that you should make another one of those videos and lay out your stuff. I don't know if you did that or not. And show the Simpsons, show the stuff that you did on the previous video. Show the link. That's the stuff that you used on the previous video. Put the link, make it. Well, first you do is you make a folder. You put the link in the description. You also have that thing that the tag that comes out, and whatever the hell they call that. I'm not thinking with names tonight. Have that push out, maybe an end screen as well. Talk about it. Go check out my other video on me using it. This is what I was using on that video. You could make it like a 10, 12-minute video. You'll get ads on it. And if you do enough of this stuff, at some point you might start getting hit for doing product reviews, and they'll send you this stuff. But you're gonna need to make a few more videos. Sometimes it comes down to you have to lay out a little bit of money and then make a bunch of videos. Like, that's what this guy was saying today. He was saying that when you want affiliate stuff and you're doing reviews, whether it's a piece of hardware, a new microphone for your YouTube channel, a piece of hardware, a piece of software, he's like, this is one of my problem too. You don't put everything in one video. You don't give the store away. And I'm slowly learning this. Like, even when I started talking about this thing, I could have broken those videos up into even smaller segments and addressed them differently. The first is the introduction, the unboxing. And that's not a review, it's an unboxing. And then the review, you could talk about its features. That's a separate video. You link them to each other. And one of the guys I know, he'll do, so this is the unboxing of this tool. Everybody, I'm just making this up as I go. This isn't good dialogue, but this is the tool. It seems to be working really good. If you want to check out more about this tool, hit this link over here and we're going to put it to the test. End of video. Video's quick. And you're like, oh shit, let me check that out. Now you click on that link. Hey everybody, if you checked out my last video where we unboxed this tool, and so far so good, I've been playing around with it right now. Let's go to the footage and we're going to put it to use. Right? That video segment rolls, come back in. So far so good. The thing seems to be working pretty good. If you want to find out a little bit more about it, click the link on this right here. And you're like, oh shit, I want to find out more about it. And then you get to like the end and it's like 5 months later or 6 months later and there's a new video that you just did. And you're like, hey everybody, it's 6 months later. I've been using this tool hard every day. And then you cut to the clip, sparks flying everywhere. And so far so good. It's been holding up really good. If you like this kind of tool and you want to find out more about it, click the link to this video over here. So these are old techniques, really. It's just that we are not trained in that. You have to think to do that. And you wind up binge watching like 5 videos. And the dude that's doing it, he scores big and you're entertained. And you're like, oh, I got a wet spot for the tool now. So let's see, let me get back. TGM Forum says, Arch, are you saying you can't find my... Yes, we can't find it. And I can't add you as a moderator. I'll try again. That might explain why I don't get many hits. Yeah, I can't find you at all. So you're not discoverable for some reason. And so let me try one more time to see if I can add you as a moderator. Yeah, I can't add you. So there must be something that you've done, and it's even hard to cancel you out. I can't even add you. There must be some restriction you have on your account somewhere. Or it could be in your router, or it could be with your ISP. I can't add you as a moderator. I can't find your channel. So it's good that we found out. Something's going on. I can't tell you what that is. But usually isn't that hard to find people. Well, something's spoken. Something's cooking over there. So hopefully you can get that worked out, brother. Josie says, I drove 2 hours one way to pick up a John Deere F510. Never had one or ever saw one before. I think those are nice ones. Had to get out of curiosity. Got it running, but the deck is a nightmare. Just too much going on to get to it. Yeah. There was one of the ones that the MTD made, and one of them that was green. I got 2 out in the backyard. This one variant where when you lower the deck, it's weird because part of lowering the deck tightens the belt. And if you as you're running over stuff and things get kind of a little old, the belt starts to slip. And it was one that I was fooling around with like way back when I first started the channel, and I was trying to do like a super clean challenge or whatever. Anyway, I parted this thing out. I parted this mower out. It wasn't in terrible shape, but I decided to part it. I'm like, I don't think I'll ever want to fix one of these things. Taking this deck off is a nightmare. I can't even imagine putting it back on. So I have two older ones back there that they might be similar to this. And that's why they've been sitting back there, because I'm kind of afraid of them. Let's see. Brett says, would love to do a walk around on one of their big machines. Yup. Yeah, walk arounds. Do what some of the other fellas do. They go over to like a box store or whatever, and they just take their camera and they just start filming. That way you don't have to own it. Let's see. Bleach says, I got sent a Saker mini chainsaw. Those are pretty cool. They wanted me to do a review. Also, stop smoking flavored plastic cigarettes to review to Timu. Yeah, wanted me to do something with them, but I don't like them much. Yeah, so, well, you could say it. You could say you don't like them. Bleach says, hey, Arch, there was a Snoop Dogg. I love Snoop Dogg. Yep. Brett says, he may have his channel private. Right, that's what I'm thinking. You might have set something private. We'll see if you can fix it. Do it now. Eat this piece of cheese. I gotta grab a snack. Yeah, typical NTD setup. Yeah. Not all of them. It's just that there's just one generation or model or whatever that's just terrible. Yeah, Joe says, I know what you mean. Just horrible. I have another snack over there. All right, so I wanted to play something. But I like cleaning the blades. Usually when I start working on a machine, it gets pressure washed. The blades come off, the tops come off. Blades get washed with the pressure washer. And then, I throw everything in a pile. I might come back to it a few days later. And I go outside and I lock the blade in my vise. And sometimes I go over it with a wire wheel first if it's really bad. Of course, these are all good blades. I do it too, right? They can be sharpened. There's a lot of meat left on them. I check them. Usually what I'll do, well, now that they've been pressure washed, there's no crap all over it for the most part. And I grab the blade and I look at it. I lay it flat, and then I hang it up on a nail, and I look to see, is it really out of whack? No, it's okay. I'm like, all right, so it goes in the pile to be sharpened. Or they go in the pile to go to one. So, get to the chopper! Yeah. Who's that one where the guy goes, everybody knows you can't go full retard. So I like to hit it, and I like to buy for that work, I like to buy the cheap Amazon flappers. 40 grit is probably the best. Sometimes I use 60. I need more too. Although these are not particularly good for like fabrication work because they don't hold up long enough. But when you look at some of the 3M's stuff that's out there, they're abrasive, they're expensive, but they last. So I buy a lot of the cheap stuff for the cheap stuff, and when I do have a little bit extra money for the good stuff, that like fabrication, I buy something nicer. And now that I've got two of these, plus the air-powered, I'm very happy. Look at all this crap I have everywhere now. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things and we can go fooling around. Let's see. Josie's, if the blades are in decent shape, I like to use a flat file, right? If not, then the grinder. Yeah, I get a lot of blades like that. They really only need a quick file. Now, there are some people that have written in to me, and I love the stories. Like I always tell people that take the time. In fact, I got to write back to a few fellas. I love the stories. When somebody takes the time, it's nice to have compliments on the video, but it's like, getting told that Alex telling me, Eric rather telling me that he just bought a $45 mower that's in mint shape and whatever I'm like, I hate you. You're not allowed here anymore. They're great stories. So it's nice to hear all that stuff. And some of the fellas have said, I really, like, they have like their machines, some of their machines that they are like really, they keep them mint, and they don't want to put a grinder on the blade. And some of the fellows that do are looking for something that some kind of a sharpener thing, attachment or whatever, that they can use because they want to keep the angle. And some people are, if you're not constantly working with a grinder and tools, it can be hard, to follow an angle and not gouge or gack or whatever. And they're particular. So I thought when this company hit me up, I was like, I think there are some people that would be interested in this tool. And I certainly am, but I think some of the fellows out there, what they shared with me, they might want something that they can throw up on the bench, but they don't want to spend a lot of money, is why. And even some of the fellows that have bought those grinders, those blade sharpeners that are like the belt style, well, they're all loud, but the way the blade goes and everything, you're not going to clean the blade. It's not going to clean the blade. Now, if you don't clean the blade, that can affect the balance, and you're just sharpening the blade. And I suppose if you're in a shop and you've got one of those belt-style grinders and you just pass the blade through and it goes, I'm sure that's fine. They're expensive if you're doing a lot of blades. But this tool, depending on which grinder I set up in it, or on it, you just leave it over there and either take it outside and throw it in a vise, lay out a bunch of blades that I think are good, clean the blades off. Next. Right? Just process a bunch of blades. And then leave them on my shelf and I can grab them and do what I need to do with them. Because it's a lot better than sitting there going, Because, by the way, the other thing I noticed too is don't use the mechanics gloves, right? Because they're nylon up top. Because even with the thing that directs the sparks, a lot of times I don't either get it right or my hand is in the way and I burn through my gloves. Unless they're all fully leather. And I don't have a nice set of leather gloves. My leather gloves, a lot of my leather gloves, like I'm not using my TIG gloves until I'm ready to buy a new set of TIG gloves. And those are expensive. My other leather gloves are these big leather gloves. And you really don't want to put those on in the summertime. Like a 90-degree day and you got these gigantic mitts on, All right, let me catch up. Josie says, the blade's a decent shape. Yep, I use a file. Bleach says, I seem to have lost my stash. TGM for his arch. Let's see, 11% of my YouTube traffic comes from the US, so it can't be private. Yeah, and what's weird is I can't give you permissions to post a link or comment. So if it's not private, I'm out of coffee. Let me try to look again. But I'm not seeing it. If any of you other guys can look for him. Oh, Rusty. All right, so Rusty, hold on. Now let me see if I can give you as a moderator. Standard, Yeah, I'm actually having a problem doing this. Okay, something else is going on here. Yeah, I can't give Rusty as a moderator unless I wonder what else is wrong. Let's see. Let me hit. Okay. Yeah, how are we going to get his link? It won't allow me to do this for some reason. There's something also on my end too, maybe, or with YouTube. They just changed a bunch of things, by the way, on this platform. Let's see. Yeah, you burned through your t-shirts. Yup. Good, so you got that 100. How am I going to get... Rusty, can you send me an email with the link? Oh, if I put the link up again real quick. If it's okay with you. Let me know. I'll put the, if you're willing to do that, I'll put the email in again. Okay, good. will solve this problem indirectly instead of relying on a crazy world of crap that they're giving us lately. They keep fooling around with stuff, you know. That's just what they do. Ooh. Let me see. She says, I got grinder red marks on my legs. Yup. Now, the other grinder doesn't have the shield on it. This shield is nice because there's this tab right here. And it locks it. And look. I don't think you're seeing it, but you see how nice that is? Just a quick tab. And it will lock in and wherever you want it. You just got to make sure you find the spot and lock it back. Did I just break it? No. Hey, did I just break it? What did I just do? I don't know. I can't see over here. Uh-oh. I think I just broke it. Oh! Bad review! Well, I got it used, but it shouldn't be broken. Oh, there's a spring back here. I think I just got the spring dislocated. Alright, we'll have to fix that or something. Find out what's going on with it. I mean, I don't know how it would have broken. There's not much to it. Yeah. Actually looks like it's a little loose or something. Hold on. This is bothering me now. Yeah, I think I did break it. Here I am. You know, and Milwaukee's supposed to be good stuff, but something happened. Did you see anything fall? Yeah, I gotta take a look at that. So later on, I gotta pop this off and take a look in there. But, you know, this stuff breaks. Everything is like crap lately. Even the better stuff. Let's see if it comes through. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, now I did it. Yep. It's all crap. And I like this stuff, but it's like, God, you know, give me a break. That's why my friend Rob was saying, he's like, you know, you like Milwaukee, but I've known you to have Milwaukee throughout the years, and you've had problems with Milwaukee tools as well. I said, yes, I have. I've had issues with it. You know, they're not. I bought a new drill, and I remember the trigger mechanism and the electrical contacts went. I'll check back in a minute here. I'm just looking to see if he sends it over. I don't think he sent it yet. So while we're waiting on that, let me just open up. Now, what I like about some of these tools, like that tool, that grinder thing, the way it's made, if it's made decent and it's nice, heavy, you know, steel, that's not going to break so fast. Right, I'm going to share my screen in a minute. And we're going to go poke at some people. Okay. Just trying to see if it comes through. I think hopefully he sends it. Might take a while. Let's see. I want to get some close-ups. There we go. Stand by. I'll probably get like a bleep or something when it comes through. Let's poke. Let's hold real quick. Let's see if this one is. We passed a couple of comments, and when I mentioned also that there was a little chewing, right? Doesn't that look like a little chewy? So one of the comments he mentioned was somebody was in there and somebody probably cleaned it out. Mouse. Well, look here. Notice the oxidation, right? The rusting. That's not common for a motor to do that up here. That's usually the urine. And we'll get in there and we'll look a little bit more. Now, also we see leaking and potential, maybe overheating. Could be. Let's go look at the other motor real quick. And I kind of wish I ran it, but you remember the little bit of oil that dripped out, right? Even just from spinning it over. We had oil dripping out from the rocker cover, etc. Let's go look at the other engine. Okay, so I mentioned yesterday, right, that there was a lot of grease and oil, more like grease. It's still all over everything. So I think she was leaking, but I just pulled the rocker cover off, and look in here. It's like super clean, like new. The valves are under tension, so we have to move that. And there's no oil. And if we look in here, is the cover. There's no oil in it, right? Yep. Oh, this is today. Hold on, I gotta wait. That's that national response nonsense. All right, I shouldn't even have my phone on for that. All right, so this absolutely bone dry. Want to retake that? Absolutely bone dry. This is after cleaning it, right? There's still goobers and grease everywhere. But if you look, there's no rusting up here. And it's not just because of the grease.
Oh, by the way, fellas, I farted in the video I'm working on. I'm like, should I leave that in? Yeah, leave it in and turn it up.
Whatever's going on, maybe it's leaking from up here, maybe from down below. But probably, the only mouse nonsense I saw, I showed you yesterday. Nothing else is in here. I just took this off and I cleaned it, and I didn't even get that like deep into the cleaning this. Okay. And then, like I said, there was no oil in it. So let's take the head off now and see what's going on. So yeah, so I would agree with Henry. Another neat thing is, like, notice how they screw this on, right? This can be replaced because they actually do lose their magnetism. All right. All right, I got the camera as close as I can. Listen, I know it's a little noisy out here, but I'll shut up. I'm going to rotate back and forth, and it's more here, right? When the flywheel is here, whatever this position on the crank is. All right, here we go. And you can imagine what that would sound like. Now let's go all the way through. I can feel it up in here. I feel it like up through this plastic. It's like trumpeting it, and the sensation is in my hand. Now it stopped doing it, but it's still kind of there. All right, let me rotate this through to top dead center, and then we'll pull the head off. Rod would go. Now we can rotate this over, so we've got. See, do we get? Now we can rotate. Push this thing through or anything, or that noise. Now it's not. Oh, before you'd see going on with this guy now. Okay.
All right, that's the head that I work with.
Seats are in good shape. And the issue is somebody broke a bolt right here, and we'll get to look at that in a minute. But I might be able to chuck this in a vise and fix that. And if we have to helicoil out these threads here, so we'll get a closer look in a minute. I'll be back. I'll be with you in a bit. All right, let's take a look at this thing. How clean it is. It's like it's never even seen dirt and oil. Oh, it's so scary. We're going to take these off because we're going to need to recalibrate all that anyway. All right, so I'll put that away. It's filthy. So we're going to get in and clean all of this. We take this off. We'll take this side cover off. That comes off. This looks mint. There's like no carbon on it, right? We're going to want to pull that motor like real soon and put it to the side. We're going to want to go in there. This motor may not be terrible, right? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because you don't like these motors. I mean, You know, because remember now, you got to change the throttle. You may have to change pulleys and belt sizes. All right, so we can see that this is a problem. All right, but it's sticking up a little bit. So what I want to do is we're going to face that, and then we're going to find a center and drill it. And if we can get it out, fine. If we have to helicoil it, looks like there's room there to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Let me set up. Let me find that. Let me just, I'm going to run through that part real quick. And let's see. I just want to show you that. Do I have it here? No, I know where it is. I think it's, yeah, let's move this. Hold on. Let me find that. It's in a different folder. Yeah, it might have just broke it. See, sadly, everything is just being made like garbage today. All right, let me set up. Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm just going to buzz through these real quick, so that's why I'm skipping around. It's also getting late, too. Oh, you can't get to everything. It's crazy. Let me find my live stream. Let me catch up. Yeah, Bleach says, sadly, everything is made to break now. It's horrible. Which we just saw that live, Milwaukee. I'll find out what's going on. Joey says, business planning for the last 10 to 15 years, planned obsolescence in economics and industrial design. And then he says, planned obsolescence designing a product with artificially limited useful life, purpose frail design so that it becomes obsolete for a certain predetermined period. Yes, actually, the word is planned destruction. It used to be planned obsolescence. Now, it's because planned obsolescence basically was, if you go back to some of the old wash machines, whatever, refrigerators, which are still around, a lot of them. What they do is they would come out with these new models with some extra feature or something, or they'll claim that it's a little bit more efficient. And so it could be just some hokey thing. And they're planning to obsolete, like they're doing with gasoline-powered lawnmowers and cars. They're trying to make them obsolete. It has nothing to do with CO2. It has everything to do with money. And that's obsoleting something and starting to remove the resources that are made available to something. When stuff breaks like this, right, that's planned destruction. So the thing will only last for so long. You'll have no more usefulness. Because something that's obsolete can still be useful. For example, tube guitar amplifiers, as you know. They're obsolete, but they work really good, and they last, and you can repair them. And there is a niche for that. When something is really obsolete, nobody wants it anymore. And usually it's just because they're being sold on the new fad. But they tend to not break any differently than anything else. They weren't designed to just break at a predetermined point in time. As he Joey says, today's cars are a nightmare. Just a rolling computer with large turbo lawnmower engine. Yeah. Yep. And I've done a few live shows on that. I tend to get too deep. That's my problem, is I talk too much and I get too deep. That's not a good way to sell the idea you're trying to put forth, because people get lost in the stupidness that I say, because it might sound good and all, but it's too complicated. And I've got to learn to stop doing that. That's the biggest mistake I make on YouTube, is I overdo. Like I was saying earlier, don't give away the store. Make different videos. Make extensions. You know, check out this video if you want to know more about what I just said, or I'm showing you. And that actually is a really good technique, because people digest things better that way. And really what we're all about on YouTube is sharing information, regardless of whether you get paid or not, how much money you make or not. We're really just trying to share stuff. It's just that I don't tell you guys, YouTube takes forever to make videos, right? And you gotta upload it, and it's all this nonsense. And for me, I like the hardware. Yeah, that's part of my hobby, and it's expensive. And to get a fairly decent look, good look and a good sound requires money. To do what I do here, even just this, it costs money. Let me see me catch up. Johnny Bravo says, obsolescence, big question mark. That's why I have a machine fab shop in my garage. I can make whatever fails. I'm with you, bro. That's what I've been saying. Like the bushing, so I was talking earlier about that 5 horsepower Briggs we dated it, TGM dated it at 87. It ran so sweet. But the thing that it's on probably needs, it could need a gear, maybe a pin shear, maybe it needs a bushing or a bearing. It may be something that MTD doesn't have anymore. Well, you can just spin that and take your turret mill press and be like, yeah, I'll make that part and enjoy it. And you can put it on YouTube, which is fun to watch. I like watching stuff like that. I mean, that might be totally boring to most people, but I actually enjoy watching stuff like that. And then I learn, I'm like, oh crap, if I can get like a little machine, I don't need big machines. I don't need a Bridgeport or a gigantic way. One of the fellows I watch, he's this young fella, and he's been rescuing these big machines, and he's got a big place to put it. I can't do that, but I watch him. Over 2 hour video on him getting this machine to work, and he's hugely popular. Read something or other. Let me just see. I want to put his channel up real quick before I continue with the video. Just as an example. Let's see, where am I? Yeah, because I got so many windows open right now. Let me come back to me and see if I can just find him. I like to one of the things I like about the setup that I have, fellas, is that because I'm I'm actually a little nuts. I think I'm an Aspie. I can't hold a thought in my head for very long. So let me see if I can find him. There's just so many good people on YouTube. And they're killing it. Tom Dobie's another good one, right? He's another, it would be nice if he stopped in. Pull a Bear. Let's see. Let me just think for a minute. Nighthawk, right? He's got his own thing going on. He stops in. Mixed Motors, of course. Doc Holliday stops in from time to time. He's got some cool bikes. I'm still cruising. Where the hell is he? I haven't watched him in like a month or so. So they'll move him down. I wish I could remember his name. I'm terrible with names. 65 Ford's pretty cool. He does some cool stuff. Where is he? Jeff's little engine. He got big. Of course, AVE and all those fellers talking about Pat Day Performance. AVE, you want to talk about tool reviews and stuff? Oh my God, he found a niche. He's really good at what he does. Why can't I think of it? So usually I try to prepare so I don't waste time like this. But, where the hell is he? Yeah, it's there's so many people that I watch. Well, anyway, I'm not seeing it. He got really huge. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't want to waste any more time. My God, I gotta go through these. Is there any way? Come on. Yeah, forget it. I'm not gonna find it. I'm gonna go back to this video here. And hold on, I just minimized everything, so I gotta bring up us. Got way too many links open now. Let me catch up with you guys. Yeah, Joey's just saying here, need to put out smaller clips. Yeah, well, the shorts are useful, I think, for keeping your name out there in the space. And good for teasers. Hey, fellas, look what I just got. This is coming up. Here's a quick fix. Right? They're really good for that. But if you really like a short 10 to 15 minute video on making a bushing to fix something, and you put that out there, right? And then you don't include it in the overall repair. So let's say, for example, the motor runs, that's a separate thing. I did a live show, that's a separate video, right? Now, if I had the tools, let's say, like you have, you've already seen, some people have already seen the other videos. It's in the folder. Then I make a video. I'm like, all right, fellas, here we got the motor running good. That was on another episode. Check that episode out over here, or go to the playlist. That's pretty cool. So now we got the motor running. We're going to take a look at this old 80s tiller. I showed you on the first episodes of what's going on here. A quick look. Let's go take it apart. We go take it apart. And then when we get to the point where we're ready to put it back together, I can then point you to the clip of me machining the part. I'm not going to put it in this video because it'll make the video that much longer. Even if it's 10 to 15 minutes, that's that much longer. But we got the part already made. Go check out that video over here. Let's put this in, mount everything up. We'll do that test, and don't sell the whole, don't try to give away a whole store in one shot because nobody's going to watch it. Except for this guy, Red, who he breaks the rules. Some people can totally break the rules. It's like 2-hour videos, some of his videos that he does, between the recoveries and the teardowns and the repairs, and he was fooling around with this gigantic lathe, and then he did this turret mill press, which he got from some school. It's not made anymore. It needed all kinds of work, and he did it. These are long videos, but I don't watch them in one sitting. I come back. It's like a lot of Musty's videos, which, by the way, Musty needs to get better gear. I'm going to say it, right? I love Musty, but I've been watching his videos again recently, and he's been using a camera phone a lot, and it's on a gimbal, and his footage is good, but you can see it in like my live show when I just did this live on the Cub Cadet. I went to a cell phone camera that does an overlook of the shop. And it's a good backup camera in case I need to move another camera and take it offline. That's why I'm using it. But when you look at the footage, it's washed. Totally washed. There's no color. Everything in the background, anywhere there's light, it's just this sea of white, blurry, washed. Everything looks washed, like a whitewash. There's no color and texture and depth. Because I don't care what good of a phone you have with a camera, there's no glass on any of this. I have a piece of glass on this camera here that it's like this long, right? At least, and it's real glass. And these can see. I do pictures of the moon with this lens, not this camera, but it doesn't look good. And he can't say he doesn't have the money. He's got success. He's doing well. He's not really a camera guy. He never really was. But he's been doing it long enough. That's one of the problems with a lot of the GoPros and stuff. There's no glass in them. They're good for action, because they're action cameras, and they're good for the macro up close. Right? They're really good if you take the camera and put it on a little tiny stand and you can shove it real close to something. These cameras are kind of big for that, so they're not good for that. But this camera here that I'm on here, when I use this lens, what's nice about it is I can put the camera way out of my way when I'm working. And so if I were to like move around and do this with my arms and my hands, I would not hit the camera. And then I got two options. If I run the camera in 4K, I run it in 4K at 100 megabit data rate transfer. It's 60 frames per second. And if I know I'm going to be punching in, right, which is basically digital zoom in edit, the quality will be there. So if I want to say, let's take a look at this bolt. You see this thing over here? I can have it punch in and edit, and the quality will be there. Meanwhile, the camera's way the hell out of my way. Or I can take the lens and turn the zoom. But the problem with that is I use these cameras usually in manual mode, and the lenses aren't that expensive. So the f-stop goes up, which means it gets darker, and then I have to apply more light or turn up the gain on the camera. which is why I prefer to do it in post, in edit. So I set the lighting. As long as I keep the lighting the same, I don't have to change the lighting. The quality of the image is there, and if I just want to show a close-up, I just boom in post in the editor. And I don't have to add any light. I don't have to touch anything. Just do it. And that's what this camera is usually how I use it. Let me catch up. Let's see. Oh, I gotta catch up. Yes, there's a music break. Obsolescence. Nice. Do I have an echo? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I turn it off. It sounds cool though. Yeah, it does, because it's not bad. It's actually a bleed through from OBS, because I was just showing some video playing the sound off of a monitor signal. And to do that, I have to turn that input on. And if I speak over it, it gets a touch of echo, which is actually kind of nice because I've heard it. It's not that bad, like I said. And I can talk over the video, but I prefer to just hit the. So I just hit the switch on this console over here and it mutes me. But I have to remember to turn this thing back on again when I want to play a video on the screen, and so you guys can see it. It gets complicated doing this stuff. There's a lot of equipment involved. The color discarded, everything is made to break. Yeah. Joe says, today's cars are a nightmare, just a rolling computer, obsolescence. Yeah, and having that machine shop is nice. He says, same here. Need to put out smaller clips. Josie, Johnny Bravo, where are you located? Bravo says North Alabama. In the house, North Alabama. Yeah. It's so funny because we all have these weird accents. I have the worst one. New York, right? Coffee. Well, I don't really make it that bad, but sometimes I catch it when I'm editing my videos. I can hear myself. And I really want to start like putting in text, like the phonetic of what I'm saying, because it's just silly and ridiculous. Let's see, if I were a woodworker, I'd love to get my hands on an old Rockwell uniplane. Those are cool. Yep. I was doing some woodworking for a while. I had a whole bunch of woodworking tools in here. Some of them are in the other room. Because the house is 1927, and this shop fell down, so I was making a lot of stuff, including fencing and everything else from scrap lumber. For a while, this is years ago, my neighbor and I would go over to the local lumber yard, right, 84 Lumber, and depending on who was there, because there's always different people, but I would ask him, I'm like, I'd look at their piles, and I'm like, I will restack your lumber for you and pull out all of the beat boards if I can buy them for like $1 a board or whatever I offered them. And I'll restack everything and I'll make it nice. And I'll lay out what I want and we'll negotiate a price. And they would let me do it constantly. I made a lot of stuff doing that. You know, and then one time, we didn't buy it, but one time they gave me a really good deal on mahogany. And we really didn't have a place to put it at the time. We could afford it, but we didn't have a place to put it. See, Josie says, hoping you were closer. I'm in mid-state New York, about an hour from Albany to the north of New York City. Yeah, you're up there. Yeah, like you're above Westchester. I'm all the way out here on the island. Brett says, you must. Bravo says, I'm located where you have good weather most of the year. Yeah. Yeah. Rome. Yeah, up in Rome. Yeah, close to Rome, Brett says. Josie said, I tried that on my last 2 videos. The first was removing a caliper bleeder valve and then caliper repair. Now not planned repairing broken brake line. Yeah. Splitting it up. And, I mean, again, all right, there are those people. The point I was trying to make was really that there are those people that can break the rules. Musty can break the rules. There are those people. You might be able to get away with it one day if you get popular enough. Back in the day, it was easier because there were no rules. You know, all the OGs that started a lot of this stuff, they were making it up as they went. They were creating the whole genre. You know, it was totally different. Bravo says, way back when I started doing YouTube vids, it wasn't for public consumption. It was to document what I was working on so I could remember. It's a great idea. It now has morphed into doing more interesting content. I wish I did this with my Nova and stuff. I mean, you're talking about $10,000 engine. I mean, I showed some of it. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Somewhere here. Like I was holding up in a video that I'm making. I'm holding up this little 20 horsepower valve, and I'm like, this is one of the valves that I put in my Pontiac engine. It's tulipped, swirl polished, 2 1/4 inch stainless steel valve, and then I poured it in polish, the aluminum heads, and I just, the whole car, that car had, it's a 69, it is, I don't own it, but it's a 69 Nova. The front end on those things are garbage. So I put an F-body front end in. And all of that stuff, especially when I started doing it, was all available. I put subframe connectors, and I put a Ford 9-inch rear. And I narrowed the rear, and I put reverse offset rims. I had custom rims made. And I did all kinds of stuff to this car. It drove nice. It rode well. It started and stopped. It made a lot of power. Let's see. It's been a trek and developing on a daily basis. Yeah. Yep. I know. It's good because it morphs, right? Because we don't know how to do stuff. Some people are gifted and they get it right away, but that's not most of us. It's not really talent that we need. I mentioned Bleach had said last time, he's like, I wish I had more talent. I'm like, I don't think you need any more talent. Talent is raw, first of all. Talent is like a knife, right? It's you start off with some type of metal that you want, whatever it is, and then you forge it out and bang the crap out of it. You pour it, and then you got to forge it, and then you have to shape it, and then you have to make some kind of handle for it. And then you get it to a point where you put an edge on it, and then you got to sit and hone it and stropple it, and it's really raw when it starts off. So that's kind of like most of us. You have just enough talent and enough technical ability to get started. The rest you're going to have to put all your effort in, and it has to grow, and you have to grow. And I don't care whether you do it as a hobby or not. It's the same thing, Let's see. Joyce's bought a new camera back in December. Still did not use it for a video. I'm so confused with the directions. Yeah. Yep. It took me a long time. I actually took this stuff when I was in high school and then 1 year in college. And my friend that was here, we were talking about it. He's like, I can't believe how much you're doing. He's like, you actually were into this years ago. I said, yeah, but the video was for professionals only. My father played with video. He was into cameras. Most of my friends were into cameras. But video was really difficult to work with. And I learned photography, of course, and most of my friends, including my father, were into that. But I learned it, and then I shared it with them. But they were really into photography. And I was like, this is just another hobby that I can't afford. I like cars and guitars. I'll have to come back to this. So I did. I came back to it. So you need to learn photography. You need to understand what a camera does, because even the people that have decent YouTube channels, what they kind of miss out on is they put the cameras in automatic and they aim it. But there's a lot more to it than that. There's so much more. There's so much more stuff that you can do. It's nice. I do run one of my cameras in automatic as well as I run it in manual. And I've been experimenting more with the manual and the automatic because each one does something different. There's all kinds of great videos. Bravo says, I need a good wireless lavalier. So do I. Oh my God. I got this one mic. I sold a lot of my audio gear, but I got this one good mic, and then I like to use the mics on the cameras, or in the cheaper camera in particular, and then I edit it and tweak it. But I do want to get a nice wireless lavalier because you can do so much with that, and people can hear you. That's important. The audio is like probably more important than the video. Okay, Rusty says he sent the link. Good, because kind of waiting for that. Let's see. Things are running slow, I noticed tonight. Like it's just, stuff is acting weird. I should have been able to make you people, whoever I chose, whatever it's not letting me do it. I didn't get it yet. Yeah, I'm just bruising, cruising and bruising. Yep. It's just weird. All right, I'll keep checking. Remind me again, fellas. Let's see, Brett says, my aunt and uncle in Rome. Wow. TGM Forum says, I can't see any settings that would stop you from seeing my channel. Very frustrating. I wonder if you can see my main website either. Yeah. Well, if I get that link, if it comes through, for some reason it hasn't come through yet, but Rusa just sent it. We're trying. You know what? We'll figure this out. Probably not tonight because it's getting late, but we're going to try to figure this out. I'll have to think on it. There's some people I can ask too, that know more than I. Yeah, that's weird. Bravo says, I'm not sure where all you guys are, but back when I was a photogrammetric engineer, see, I was traveling up to Brewster, New York. Wow, yeah, cool. That's a hard word. Josie says, Brett, been a Bronx boy up to my teens and moved up north in 1969. I'm a local now, just south of Poughkeepsie. Sweet. I would want to live up there. I used to go to Pennsylvania a lot, and I had dreams of buying a piece of property there. Now I'm thinking more where my brother is in North Carolina. Yeah, Bleach says he's getting sleepy. Bleach is puffing away, and he's like, oh, I'm getting tired now. I'm almost done. We're almost done. Josie says, I've watched a few camera videos, but still, yeah. TGM says, I also like guitars, can't play them, but love them. I have a couple of Epiphones and Harley Benton and Les Paul clone. Yeah, that's what this is. This is a Gibson ES335 or something. I mean, I know I'm in the way, but Archie, now you put the seat in the way. Yeah, there's no light on it, but hold on, I'll see if we can change that. It's not enough light in here. That's a little bit better. A little stroby. I broke that guitar. Hold on. Let me fix this. Shut this light off. I broke the neck on the luthier joint. So here's an interesting analogy. I was thinking of this the other night. Came to me. I know, Rusty. So here's YouTube in a nutshell. You mentioned guitar. Here's the problem that we all have when we with our channels when we start. So imagine you got a guitar. I don't care what age you are, you got a guitar, and you played it, noodle around with it for a while, and you took a couple of lessons, and you're reading the charts, and you're making some noise, right? And then you decide that you're going to go out, like Bronx, right, street corner, open up your guitar case, sit down on your little stool, because you open up your guitar case so people can throw money in it, and sandwiches and eggs. You start playing, and you don't really know how to play, but you're making some noises, and you play out in public. And you're hoping maybe you get some money, maybe people watch you, maybe people stand around, whatever. Next thing you know, right, they're throwing rotten tomatoes and rotten eggs at you, and then no money is in the case except for like eggs and stuff. Well, that's YouTube, okay? Because you might be, like, for example, a mechanic. Just take that example of what we do. You might be fine working in your shop, and you're a good mechanic, and you're going to be getting better because you just keep doing it. But then you turn the cameras on and you upload to YouTube. You're that guy on the street corner with the guitar that he's been playing for a month. Right? And who does that? You would never do that. You would never, because most of the time you're younger when you start guitar, but if you started a little bit later, like drums, right? And you like say to your wife, for example, say you're a guy and you say to your wife, all right, we got the basement. I cleaned it all out. I bought these drums. I'm gonna set it up down there or in the room downstairs or whatever, and I'm gonna play my guitar and my drums. I'm gonna learn how to do this. She's like, and then you start. And actually no, it doesn't even sound that good, right? It's horrible. It's like I used to say jazz is like somebody took a drum kit and like dropped it down a flight of stairs because it makes no sense really. And you're making all this noise and everybody in the house is like, shut up. I remember my mom used to she'd stand at the top of the stairs and I'd be cranking really loud and she didn't want to yell over it, so she'd take the light switch and she'd flick it and the lights would go on and off, on and off. And I'm like, Ma, I'd stop. I'm like, Ma, like this. You got to do it to the beat of the music. And she'd be like, John, cut it out. It's too loud. Oh, my God. Let me check it again. Hold on. I'll catch up with you guys. Yeah, it's going to come through later. I'm telling you. It's going to like later on tonight or tomorrow when I open up the email. That's when it's going to come through. Did you, DGM, did somebody put a curse on you or something? Is that what's going on? Is there some kind of voodoo going on around here? Right? I was actually talking about with my friend Liz because something came up with her Satanist girlfriend that she's living with. And my daughter's boyfriend broke up with her and she went to go see one of those witches or whatever. And so at one point, the comment was, do you want me, not a spell, but do you want me to, it's like a prayer or whatever, where you ask the forces to sort of see if you can get him back. Well, her stupid Satanist girlfriend said, yeah, that sounds fun. Why don't you go say all these blessings and everything? And I said to my daughter, I said, that's not fun. I said, your friend is super smart, really intelligent, very attractive. She's got no skills, she's not wise. Let's just say for a minute this is true, like the evil and the witches and everything. You put a spell on somebody and they love you now again and they come back to you. What do you think the consequences of that's going to be? You think maybe they'll turn out to be horrible to you and they wind up beating you or they cheat on you or you try to have a kid and you can't have a kid or something, the kid comes out wrong or stillbirth. I'm like, the karma end on that. It's not fun. You don't screw with stuff like that. It's just so bizarre. See how you go all these different. So I was talking to my friend Liz, and we mentioned that, and she said to me that she told my daughter that she was going to pick up one of those cheesy little voodoo dolls that you can buy for a couple of bucks, and they were going to have fun with it. And she goes, well, that's different. Because it's not really, I'm not casting any spells. I'm not a witch. I don't know anything about that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I used to say for years, especially when I was younger, that there's probably a whole lot of chicks out there that have an effigy of me in a jar where there's pins stuck in this effigy of me in a jar filled with urine in their freezer somewhere. And she just started laughing, because it's I know how you women think, it's still probably around. So maybe TGM's got some kind of voodoo spell or something on it. All right. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, it's been sent for a while, Rusty. And Bravo says, having watched a lot of other YouTube vids, I learned what I like and what I don't like, and that impacts what I'm trying to do now. Video editing, especially sound, is paramount. Yeah, and there are people that know how to do it without video editing, or they say that they just want it raw. That's hard. I don't think I would do that. Well, I did the lives, I do raw. I mean, it's hard to do that. I was looking at my live show, and I'm like, there's so many mistakes in it. Yeah, play some Skinner. Yeah, Red says, nice. I know, I actually know a lot of Skinner, or at least I used to. Maybe I'll do is I'll hook it up in the future, and because I haven't played in, I don't know, many months. And I'll noodle around with it a little bit, but it's not even tuned. We used to have a family home in the Poconos. It was a treat spending the summer up in the woods and back to the concrete jungle. Yeah, a lot of people did stuff like that. Yep. It's so beautiful up there. It's like Diesel Creek and them guys, right? They're up there with their property and their big machines. I'm like, and I love that. TG says, it looks nice, Arch. Like the hollow body. I love the hollow body feels, too. I like it because it's got the Gibson feel, the Gibson style neck that I like. And I put some different pickups in. I don't really care for them. The pickups that I had in there wound up in another guitar, a Les Paul, that I sold because I needed the money. And I don't like these as much, but they sound okay, right? I sometimes like a single coil in the front, up in the neck, here, this position up here, because I like that alternate sort of sound where you can get that sort of thin sound and then more of a thick sound. And speaking of amplifiers, tubes, right? I use a tube amplifier. And I put a rheostat on it as a load soak. And I overdrive the tubes and I get that natural distortion. Because I'm really like a rock blues guy, old school. And I don't like a lot of effects or anything. Just a little bit of echo, just a touch of snapback. All right, let's see. Bleach says, always wanted to learn how to play guitar. I always wanted to pick the guitar left-handed. Yeah. And Josie says, funny analogy, but true, right? I mean, come on, who does that? Who's going to go stand out in the street corner? You don't even know what the hell you're doing. By the way, there was a fellow from the UK I watched one day, and he was trying to remove the rear rim and tire off of the back of a tractor. For those that have done it know that it can get stuck, and you need to heat it and whatever. And then he wanted to take the tire off the rim. Those of us that have tried to take tire off a rim without a machine knows that's a pain in the ass. And then he wanted to show us how you could put oil or transmission fluid in there to stop the leaks. Okay. Well, he was new at YouTube. He had terrible audio. You couldn't hear him, and he had a really thick accent. And so that was bad enough. So even if he was louder, like the fellows that I used to work for, the Greeks back in the day, they used to tell me, stop listening with an accent. There is a way to do that. It's actually a true statement. I thought it was stupid at the time, but after a while I realized, but you have to hear the person. So we couldn't hear him, and he's got the accent. So we don't know what the hell he's saying. We can't really see him. And it looked like he just watched a video on how to do this, never practiced it, and then proceeded to come from the point of view of teaching us that this is how you can do it. And he couldn't do it. Really couldn't do it. If he had said, I've never done this before. I saw this on YouTube. Let me see if I can do it. And we probably would have been in the back going, well, we can't hear you, bro, but we're rooting for you. Instead, he came from the point of view of authority. He sucked at it. He was horrible. He was a new YouTuber. And I watched this, and it was painful. And I looked in all the comments. It was so sad, bros. They ripped him up. They were having like this competition on who could say, it wasn't necessarily mean, like mean, but it was this obnoxious competition in the comments section. And there was a lot of comments. Like people started watching this video to riff on this guy. And I'm like, oh my God, this is hard. This is the dude playing his guitar 3 months in, out on the street corner in the Bronx, right? I'm like, this is horrible, that's YouTube. Let's see. TGN Forum says, I'd like to see your guitarist website. All right, let me check one more time. All right, because we're at the 3-hour point. We got to go. I have to, we have to limit it because I would still keep going, but I'm getting tired and I got to go check my blood because of diabetes and I got to take a leak. And it's horrible. All right, it's rolling through. Let's see if it comes through. We're going to figure this out. We're going to fix this somehow. But I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we're going to try. All right, it didn't come through yet. Isn't it unbelievable? Sometimes it's just, Bleach says, I started weed in my 40s. Really? I started in my, I think we were in 8th grade. And we went out behind the school where there was a drainage pipe. Teaching from I think so, Arch. Yeah. I have voodoo snappers. Yeah, Bleach does. Christina snappers. Yeah. That's my daughter. As a Christian, I don't buy into the voodoo and tarot cards BS. Well, it's weird. Of course, I don't want to get too religious or anything, but Jesus said don't do that stuff. In fact, the Old Testament talks about it. But I think Jesus, I can only paraphrase, but even when he had to ask each individual that he tried to liberate, as the stories go, that were possessed, because a lot of what he fixed in people health-wise, according to the stories, is that they were possessed. And he had to ask each one what was inside, who was it. And remember that one story where they said, we are legion, and there were like thousands, and he had to cast them into all these, what were they, pigs or goats or something, and they went running off. The problem is that it's not that it necessarily doesn't exist or that the Bible says it doesn't exist. It's that you don't know what you're doing because it's a world that you don't have any training in and that you're not aware of. And all of the potholes and pitfalls would be there. You have no idea what you're talking to, because if it is a demon, it can act like it's your late grandmother. And it'll give you information that you're only, your grandmother would know. How it does that, I don't know, but this is how it's said. And you think it's your late grandmother. And what you're really talking to, because the Bible says the dead know nothing of the living. I'm just quoting, indirectly, but so it's a dangerous place to play. And I would just try to stay away from that, which is my point to my daughter. I'm like, your friend is a lousy Satanist because she doesn't even know a lot about Satanism. I know more about it than her because I study it. I study a lot of religions. I just don't try to quote it. I don't do that. I'm not good at that. Let's see. Joey Z says, even in my videos that are the greatest take me hours to edit. Yeah, they're not the greatest. They can take a while. You can learn to get faster at it. I also set up templates, things that I repeat because I put the time in once and then try to apply it. Settings changes. I still try to figure out settings like my audio and whatever, or noise cancellation. There's a little noise cancellation on these mics. And things change because the shop is noisy. And sometimes you hear it, like I can hear it a little bit. It's trying to, the delay isn't set right and the threshold isn't quite right. And I kind of hear it at the end of a word, especially if I lower my voice. Rawa says, anybody who doesn't do this has no idea how much effort and time goes into the editing. Yeah, they think, I often say like the how-tos probably do the best on my channel, but the how-tos, people, what they want from the YouTuber is they want you to take we'll just say it, like a lifetime of knowledge, condense it down into 5 minutes, and so that they can then be like you and fix it. And if you can, stop by and do it for me as well. That's an extreme, but no, let's see. I feel you there, Johnny. Editing and the time consuming, the short vids. Yeah, even the short vids. And Josie says, shot up with Brett, biblical taboos. Yeah. I like to talk about that stuff. I like spirituality. I've been studying it since I was a kid. I see all the heresies and the stuff that's not right in all of the religions. Because sooner or later, some dude, usually it's a man, has gotten their hands on it and tweaked something. And biblically speaking, that guy probably is got an in with the guy downstairs, because that's pretty much the idea, is to take whatever the Lord has and to make an abomination of it and turn it upside down. I like to say, I more recently, the more I study the secular world, is I tell my one friend, Kurf, is that in the secular world, most people are Satanists and they don't even know it. If you want to take that approach, the world has gotten so bad that if you're not understanding that so much of what we are doing is from some level is brought to you by some evil corporation and whatever, it's gotten really that bad. It's just so bizarre. I'm not saying we're actually Satanists, but we're immersed in the intentions of people that truly believe in that and are looking to do that. And they have their fingers on the buttons and their hands on the levers, and they've got the paycheck the cash in the bank to pull it off. So, let's see. Bleach says, people hardly comment on my channel. The same here. Sometimes I get that. Like, I'll put out videos and they don't comment. And even the ones sometimes that have a lot of views, that's something that we could talk about in another episode, like why that is. And it'd be interesting to hear from you fellas what your take is on that. Bleach PC, no trolls either. Yeah, I get a couple of trolls. I don't mind them. Like, it's going to happen, I think if you actually have some trolls, you're actually probably starting to get to the point where you're getting good, because people want to cut you down. It's weird, yeah, because YouTube is such a weird environment. It really is. It's as a social thing, you're really pushing the boundaries. It's very difficult. Bleach says, wish Jesus would send me some loose women and forgive me. Dude, you can't say it like that, right? To say something like that is an abomination. If you just want to stay on that, right? Because you said it, right? So Jesus isn't going to send you loose women. And if he says he's Jesus and he's bringing you loose women, that's the kind of thing you can't... I mean, it's a joke, I would imagine, but if there's any seriousness to that, you can't say that. Right, that's like, yeah. Oh, it's awesome. He says, "Hail Santa!" Yeah, I walk around during Christmas time and going, "Here comes Satan Claus! Here comes Satan Claus!" Call me strange, Brett says, but I have actually seen a ghost. Scared the F out of me. Yes, I've seen some weird stuff. Yeah, I've seen it. I've petitioned the Lord. I was telling my friend last night who was raised a Jew, but he considers himself to be an deist, I think, or more maybe closer to an agnostic. And it was an interesting conversation to take on it because in New York, all Jews are trained Jews. At some point, you cannot get your bat mitzvah, or your bar mitzvah unless you know a lot. I don't think even Christians get to that point, like the same kind of point. And then from there, right, he decided to take a different path, as many people do. And so it was an interesting conversation. They come from a different view altogether. But some people do not have a spiritual life. Like, of the people, like, he's not spiritual, my friend. He's just not. And of the spiritual people, it's been said that some people are physical beings, like they feel like they're physical beings, but they have a very spiritual existence. And then others are spiritual, but they see the world and feel the world in a more physical existence. It's a different way of looking at the world. And there are some people that are just physical and they have absolutely no concern for anything spiritual. They don't believe in it and they don't think it exists. Yet when I mentioned to him, like, what is love? It's, as he's very scientific oriented. And so most people that are really scientific oriented understand, they will say things like there must be a creator, because the deeper they get involved in the science of it, they realize there must have been something that has created the complexity that we live in. Okay, right? Call it what you want, right? But the rest they throw out. And then I said to them, well, what of love? And they stumble on that. And they go, okay, yeah. See, Josie, you are on with your indirect quotes. I hope so. Like, I try. I cannot quote it. It's just not a skill I'm ever going to develop. It's just not. I don't read that granular either. I like to look at the overview of everything, and then I'll come back to something and I'm like, what does that mean? Because I really don't understand it. Johnny Bravo says, wait, hold on. Bleach says, I might have had relations with a ghost a long time ago. Happy Halloween. Yeah. Some people are like ghosts. Johnny says, I always try to comment on channels I find value in. After all, we are real people and need to connect with. Yes, we do. And I need to do more of that, because a lot of times I don't. That's why I was saying earlier that I've taken to, when I need time off and I want to relax and watch something, I started doing this because I don't feel like sitting up. Just does my back really hurts, my feet really hurt. I want to get my feet up and I want to watch. So I'm like, okay, I'll follow along on this. I can kick back and I'm like, you know what, you comment, say something. Even if the person doesn't read it, it helps the channel. And in general, like you said, it's just trying to be sociable, you know, but some people don't like doing that. And I don't remember. I mean, can you comment if you're not like a YouTube, like usually you have to sign up and create an account. I don't remember anymore. Don't you have to create an account with YouTube in order to comment and stuff? I don't remember. I mean, it's been so long. It says, Josie says, in the secular world, you don't have to answer to a higher authority, a mistaken idea, way of life. The higher authority is man. And they do answer. That I'll dispute that with you, because he follows science and he follows the leader. Whichever leader you choose, whatever side you're on, they pick a side and they follow it. And they do what they're told, which I find odd. And when I try to bring that to his attention, everybody that I know that is like that, they're like, no, I don't. I'm like, you repeat everything that I hear from the next person that has the same ideology. You say it the same way. No, I don't. I can think for myself. I said, well, you haven't yet. They get mad at me. They get mad. I'm like, you sound like everybody else, verbatim. Like if you were to quote from the Bible, for example. I'm not targeting Bible people. I'm just saying, you sound just like. Put it in your own words. And they're like, well, and I think we, as humans, we want to follow somebody, typically. And what they tend to follow is they only follow man. Whoever the boss is. And then they want to tell you how much that they're their own boss. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I don't think you're doing that. And that's just my take on it. Let's see. A study of the Bible takes time and effort that many people will not even consider. Yeah, Joe, I would agree with that. We learn, well, that's like that for everything, though, because when we're younger, we're taught certain things at a very basic level, and then we get real busy with life, and we don't go back and up our knowledge game. If it's the Bible, we don't go back and up the knowledge game. And like my ex-wife, she does this thing with this wonderful old woman. She's in her 80s, a black woman, and she is a Jehovah's Witness. And I warned her about that. I said, they're going to get you to a point and they're going to cut you loose. And she just did, the woman. She says, I can't do Bible study with you anymore unless you come in, because, well, the elders, right? You've reached a point, now you have to come into the fold. We won't do any more for you. She says, but I really care about her and she's my friend. Yes, but she's answering to another authority, and that is the authority of the church. So she's not really your friend. She's doing it. She is a good person, but she's doing what she was doing because it's a task to get you to a certain place to join a fold. And I tried to tell you that in the beginning, and now your heart is hurt, but you had to learn that on your own. But what she did for you was a good thing for a time. Now you need to go. I told you from the beginning, you'll have to choose another path. This is just, or continue your path. This is just the beginning of your path. She abandoned you. Unless, of course, you want to continue and become part of that fold. That's their intentions are masked. And humans tend to do this. And I tried to tell her this more in the beginning, and I got the no, that's not what's happening. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. You'll have to go down that road yourself. So let's see. Bruce says, I like commenting on videos showing the positive acknowledgement. Shows like when you watch it, always comment on each other videos. Yeah, and it's fun. There's always something that I find that is like ooh, that's kind of neat. Sometimes I just like to write nice, cool, because that's actually what I'm feeling. It's not what I'm thinking. It's like, that's what I'm feeling. You know, that was cool. That was nice. That came out nice. That's a nice machine. I love saying stuff like that. It's really fun. I pray that we can just get along with no wars. Yeah, really. Really. That's what one of my friends who grew up in the Catholic Church and then got away from it, became a liberal and a teacher. And he asked me before all this stuff recently started, he goes, what would you wish for? He said, would you wish for peace? Would you wish for love? Would you wish, happiness? And he wanted happiness. And I said, no, peace. Peace, contentment, really, and understanding. He says, well, why? I said, happiness. Happy, what is happy? What makes you happy? What is happy? You just had an orgasm and you're happy for how long? You just smoked some pot and you drank some beer and you're happy for how long? You just ate a really good steak. How long are you happy for? How do you measure what is happiness? That's neat and everything, but peace, being content. If you just have peace, all things spring from that point, right? If you have contentment and a clear mind, and your heart is relatively clear, right? Because human beings will always have weight that they'll carry. But peace takes that weight and says, and it's like a big shoulder harness, and now you can carry it. And you're like, it's much better because I was carrying this thing like this forever. And from there, you can find happiness. But you know what? All the other emotions have use too. Sadness makes you often realize, like, if you love somebody and you're missing them, you might be at peace, but you're not happy. But you realize their value because you love them and you're missing them. So you need that emotion. So having happy around all the time, what the hell? It means like you're going to be walking around like in 8th grade with a fucking erection? What do you mean, right? I don't want that. It's horrible. Oh, God. Amen, Leach. Tech Ninja. Whoa! Tech Ninja's in the house. Yes, you do have to create an account. Yes, see, Tech comes out of the woods. Well, we're not putting you up. We're going to get to you. Come back because we like to put everybody up and check out everybody's channels and hit on all of that. Bleach says, I watch YouTube on my Apple TV and it's 40-inch Walmart budget. That's nice. And that's why a lot of us are trying to go for, like, I upload in 4K for people like you and TJM or whatever his name, our friend, he's got in his house. He either watches it on this or his computer. A lot of times he just casts it to his like 40-something inch. Also, the 4K is got, the tighter saturation of the pixels. There's just more info in a given area. Josie, in the Old Testament, there are 3 words for love, all meaning a different meaning. Yeah, definitely. We definitely have to do like more of a video, get a little bit into it. As long as people don't mind, you don't take it too far. It's just, I like to think of it as just human talk, right? Don't go off the deep end on it. It's human talk. It's a tough world. And like I said to my friend Rob, because sometimes he argues with Christians. It's his thing. I'm like, be careful with that. The question you should be asking yourself is that whether you agree with it or not, ask the person, are they content with it? Are they happy? Does it help them in their life? Do they feel like this is working for them? And has it changed their life? And if the answer is yes, what the hell are you to say one thing or another? You're going to argue that with them? How do you argue with somebody? You're not happy. Yes, I am. I'm completely happy. I like what I'm doing. No, you're not. You're going to argue with me what makes me happy, what I like. That's essentially what he would do. And I'm like, then you just think you're a dick and you walk away frustrated and you lost the opportunity to be friends with somebody. Silly. Let's see. He says there's a guy channel bug dude that does Bible study on his YouTube live. Yeah, a lot of people do that. It is hard to do. Joey says we all answer to some human authority. What I remember is a higher authority. Yes, no, but that's what I said. I'm not disagreeing like in that way. Is that you say we all. Well, they answer to a human authority. At the end, we may be all answering to the higher authority. As my friend was telling me, there is no hell. as he said it in his religion. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that. All I'm doing is repeating what he says. I said, so what happens? He goes, well, nothing. I said, well, what if you're a real piece of crap, murdering, raping? What happens? Okay. I can't, I'm not going to argue that, with him, Let's see. Brett says, Joey says, we all answer some human authority. What I mean is higher authority. Brett says, you gave me some super nice praise on my sidewalk washing video, and it's much appreciated. Yeah, and that's why I said, I'm not going to let up on this, fellas. I'm going to keep riding Brett. Brett, when is that video coming out on laying out all that gear and making the video on that? I'm just going to keep riding him. Like I wrote bleach on his promo because it was old and it actually did give me a copyright strike when I played it on the live. And so I told him he could make a better video, and he did. And he made like an awesome, he goes to lift up this snapper and he goes it in slow motion. It's like the Bionic Man episode, right? When like you see Jim, what was his name? What was the Bionic guy's name? And as he picks this thing up and you hear that sound, and he's picking up this tractor, the snapper, and he puts it over and he slow-mos it. And it was awesome. I'm like watching this. I'm like, that is great. I knew it. I'm like, I totally had confidence in him. Why he just didn't have confidence, that's a human thing. Sometimes we get lazy. We don't think about it. We don't want to put the effort in. We don't think we can do it. I mean, you can come up with a million reasons. There's probably a little bit in each one of those reasons. And I was like, just go do it, bro. And he did. It was awesome. And then he put some pictures up and a little bit of his food, like what you would kind of see mostly on his channel. He did, and that's what those things are for. And he totally pulled it off. Mine sucks compared to his. Now I got to go do it. So, yeah, the world is sad. We do need peace. And nice, Josie. Jehovah's Witnesses have taken this position only with the last couple of years, with the belief that we are in the end of days and time is short and to reach people maybe. Yes, and that's because they feel that is something that is theirs. Let's see, let's see. See, I can probably find, hold on. Let me just check TGM, and I'm going to go this way because TGM just sent me a message. First, let me check my email. Oh, something just came in. I just heard the jingle. Let's see, it's just finishing up. Let's see, I heard something. This is actually, you know what I just got? I just got something from TGM I didn't get from you, Rusty. Let me see. So he commented. Now I'm going to go click on him. Here we go. I got it. Stand by. I got it. I didn't think of that. See? I can't think of everything. That was awesome. And bye. Told you we'd figure out a way. He did. So that should be TGM forum. And let me go over to the description. He's going to be on the bottom. Okay. Now, guys, click on that and check it for us. Yeah, I know. So I'm just talking about. So, guys, click on that. That's TGM. It should go through because I'm sitting here looking at it. And I just hit the subscribe. And you got now you'll have over 100 TGM subscribers. Right? So because that's what I did is I broke everything up into like little goals. My brother taught me that like years ago. My oldest brother, who actually is successful, I just don't know him all that well because, his version of success is to abandon his family. Idiot. Anyway, one of the things he taught me was that. And the other thing he taught me was you put your plans in sand and your goals in stone. And when he told me that, I was very young because your goals are your goals. But crap happens. So as you're making the plans, you have to put them in sand and they will shift because that's just life. Crap happens. Right? And I was like, I was very young when he told me that. And I'm like, I knew that was a smart thing. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's see. Bleach says 1080i HDMI. I think the TV is. Okay, so that's still nice. That's basically what I work in anyway. I have like the higher end of HD. I push it. 1080p. All these monitors and everything, they're all basically 1080p. So, you know, I like this view sometimes. I really would prefer to sit like this, but this is the view I'm supposed to be using, and I forget to change it back because I just, you know. Let's see. I know he commented, and Steve Austin, yeah. Now that song "Imagine" by John Lennon is a nice song. However, that's for another day because there is a spirituality in that. John Lennon was a big fan of all the mysticism. Remember, the 60s was a big time. And a lot of those people, you know, who they follow is, hold on, let me get the name, Aleister Crowley. So, and they're in, and it's not only is on their album cover, but they went into all this mysticism, and most of Hollywood and the music industry today, including the politicians, follow this guy. And that's why I say the Satanist, because, well, he's the most, he was declared the most evil person ever on the planet. And Italy threw him out and said that. Literally threw him out. And that's who they follow. So when they sing of some of the stuff, now, sometimes as they get towards the end of their life, they change. But when they sing of things, it sounds good, but you have to know where it comes from. Because deceit is the devil's tool, right? And you'll start to think that, oh, this is cool, this is good. Like he's singing about peace and love. Yeah. How do you get there? Right? And when the person that's singing that, he actually made these John Lennon made these comments. I wrote them down somewhere. I have a lot of data that I save. I have too much of it. I need to go through it. He actually there's the thing called, they call it the Devil's Bargain, but it actually comes from a book of somebody that wrote The Faustian Bargain. And we know it as Robert Johnson, The Crossroads. It's all the same thing, right? I went down to the crossroads. Well, what they're talking about is the bargain, the Faustian bargain, the bargain with the devil. And they all make it. And even the Pope does this. And if you stick your third finger, it's a really bad curse. So, and they all do this, right? And they're all finding different ways. I'll run through more of that. So what comes, when it comes from there and you don't realize it and know it, right? That's where, to me, I have a problem with that because I measure the person. What's the measure of a man? What do they truly believe in? And, you know, I'm a pretty kind person. Everybody I've known, my family, they all have, one by one, have found a way to betray me. And I've had to bring my family back together, and they all betrayed me. And I was the one that had to bring them all back together because that was my calling, regardless of that they betrayed me. And it's not because I'm better than now or whatever. That was a tough task, and it took me a long time. But when I brought them together, they had to acknowledge it. I didn't do that. They had to do that. And they had to acknowledge what they did. And I didn't force them to do that, but that was kind of the cost. Because ultimately we want to be together and people want to be together and they make mistakes. And why do they make mistakes? Because we live in a world that is constantly pushing us to screw up and to go down the wrong road. Remember, the path is wide to destruction, right? And it is narrow, right? So it's hard to stay on the narrow path. You're a human being and you've got all of these different things going on to pull you in the wrong direction. It's easy to stray. So you don't condemn somebody, but you have to be careful who they are and what you're hearing from them because it might sound good. Yeah. Let's see. We're going to get out of here in a minute. Steve Austin was so cool. Yeah, and yes, Arch, next spring, Lord willing, I'm going to do Billy Sidewalks and Drive-In. I'll do a short line of discussion in that video. That would be sweet. Yeah. Yeah, because it deserves it. You know, the hardware, like I'm a hardware guy. Like I said, I love tools. I love hardware. I like to see it in use, like the practical use. And I like it when you can use it and not break it. But I like to see the hardware. You know, it's fun to look at. DJ Informer, the comment on one of your videos. Bleach PC said, I'm going to read this through and I'm going to get out of here. Heard some stories where people just smoke weed and read the Bible, claim to help get closer to God and Jesus. I wouldn't know what to say about that. Like, I don't know anything about that. I don't really even have an opinion on that. I've never actually thought about it that way. Because I know all the ancient shamans, including they still do it. They take that ayahuasca or whatever, and all these other drugs to get this enlightenment. And you can get some. The question is, where does the enlightenment come from? I've even said this to a number of people that if enlightenment comes, sometimes I get enlightened. It just happens. I've had these experiences, and even on my deathbed, literally, I didn't know I was going to die, and I had the Lord talk to me. And it doesn't say words, but there are times when, since that I've seen situations that I've been in where I've wanted to know something, and the knowledge comes, and sometimes I don't know who is giving it to me. Is it the guy upstairs or is it the guy downstairs? And I'm not trained enough, or I'm maybe too naive, or I'm not knowledgeable enough, or whatever it is. So I just worry sometimes, where does it come from? Because it can come from either. Right? And it can still be useful, because it's what you do with it and what you believe in your heart is what makes you a good person. And then you have to then take it to the next step. So it's not necessarily corrupt, because remember, in the stories of the Bible, like, you know, this Lucifer thing, right? It was an angel. It's an angel, right? It can do good. It can help you. The problem is, what's the cost, right? And what I've noticed is, over the years, especially being in music, where you're around people that are looking to become possessed, effectively, I mean, they think it makes them play good. And I've actually had that happen. And it's concerned me, because I know why people die at 27 and why they get into drugs. Because if you start to get really good at music and you get that possession moment where you're connected to the universe and you like dial in, and what happens is you have an out-of-body experience, like you're taking ayahuasca and stuff, and you're no longer in control of what you're doing. Almost all the musicians will tell you, I didn't write that. I didn't write that. It came to me, right? Well, you've tied into something. And the problem is it's such a fleeting high that you will work your ass off. And if you're doing it with other people, you rely on them to get you to that same point, which means they have to be at that point or near it. And it's almost impossible to do. And it's so fleeting. And so while you're now coming down and you're disappointed, your only alternative is to turn to drugs, loose women, alcohol, right? Because it's to subdue your emotions long enough so that you can get to that point again. But that problem with that is it wears your body and your mind down and dulls your senses, and it gets harder and harder to get to that point again. You might get it a few times, but you become addicted, and then you can be chasing that. And the difference between that kind of high for me, right, and chasing that is you wind up depressed and sad. As opposed to, if you find union with the Lord, you can get a different kind of high, and you never are wanting. You're never going into withdrawals. So, you know, that's an easy one to figure out, right? Like, I'm like, wow, okay, so no more withdrawals, no more horror, no more depending upon people that hate me and, you know, or using me or whatever. You know, I love you. Oh, that's nice. Well, who was that guy you were with last night? Yeah, but I love you. Oh, yeah, but who was that guy you were with last night? You know? I got to get away from all those people, you know, because it's like, that's a head trip. No, let me go. I want to thank you. You'll be disappointed. Oh, yeah, TGM phone. That's the one, Arch. Thank you. Yeah. I can't wait to check out all of this stuff, too. If I take some time off tomorrow, it'd be nice. Bravo says,
All I know is way back when I was younger, like you guys' age, smoking weed made music sound somewhat. Yes, because it puts you in that state of mind. Yeah, right? And Robert says, if you remember, John Lennon declared the Beatles were more popular. Yes, they did, than Jesus, right? And then he tried to weasel his way out of it, right? Because this is the mindset. Talking about stepping into a bucket of, yeah, absolutely. You're welcome, TGM. Just back from your channel. Does it come from you or the weed or both enlightening? Yeah, that's a good question. TGM Forum says, thanks, sub to it yours. TGM Forum, thank you. I believe you got help from down above. Yeah, and you can get it from either way, but, you know, it's a tough one. By the way, that's another one a video I want to do for us musicians. It's just talking about the devil's tuning. And I've known this for years, and one of the reasons why I stopped playing is that when I was laying there on my deathbed, right, it was suggested to me that I stop playing music and doing a lot of other things because I was really ill. And for a couple of reasons. One is that I needed to put myself into a different mindset, and I needed to concentrate on surviving, actually staying alive for myself and my daughter, who was not out of the woods yet. I was being pulled into divorce court. I was almost ready to lose my house. Okay. And I was 144 pounds and I couldn't move. I could maybe put a couple of hours in a day. So it was suggested to me by the entity to stop playing music. And the reason is because it will not promote your health. It's not just a matter of it will take up your time and whatever. Now, I already knew about the devil's tuning. And it was made somewhat clear, but on the other end of that thought is that but you must trust me because you don't have time to understand why. I will explain it to you when the time is ready. And so about a year or so later, it was explained, right? And I actually found the Rockefellers and when this was done and why it's done. And it has to do with the frequencies. The 440 tuning is not the right frequency for human beings. Neither is 802 or 11 either. Okay, all that shit. That stuff does not promote health. It makes you sick. And the music is tuned in such a way that instead of promoting it can still make you happy and sad and depressed and you'll feel emotions and you'll cry. But the resonance of it, the core resonance of it, when it rests upon that core resonance, it doesn't promote health. And that was why it was done. And the Europeans put up a fight when the Rockefellers tried to do it. And they did it. They did it anyway. That's why a lot of bands, when they play live and stuff, they know this. So the record companies won't let you get away with it. But when they play live, they drop tune. They tweak the tuning. And I used to do that for years with the bands. And they would argue with me, why are you doing that? Just tune to 440. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right. Drop it like this. That's not... But mathematically, I say, I don't care about mathematically. There's something not right with this. Just humor me. And what would happen a lot is I would realize that I was playing in a different tuning because I was out of tune and it still sounded good. And I'm like, how could that be? Nobody complained because believe me, my bandmates would. And I would play these solos and I would just be slightly, I'm like, oh my God, my guitar is like a little out of tune. How does this happen? Yeah, well, that's another story. Let's see. There's Walker. Hello, Satanist. Yeah, Walker's getting on late. Where are you now, Rob? I'm just about ready to get off. I'm not ready to get off. I'm tired. He's the fellow that was here last night, my good friend. Did you go back home yet? I went to a black church in B4 and the team played guitar like being there. Yeah. Oh, hotel. Yeah, there was a church up the block from us that played the awesome music, right? My friend Arthur he said, because I was a little young, he said he used to go there with their friends, hang out in the woods, drink beer, smoke pot, and listen to it. It was good music. You know, I caught a little bit of it. I don't know if you guys remember. Some of you New Yorkers will remember. Do you guys remember Jessica Hahn? Jessica Hahn was this loose woman. And the pastor, Gene Profeta, who was in that church, had an affair with Jessica Hahn, and they actually moved the church to another place. And it was a big New York, Long Island scandal back in the day. And I'll have to bring that up next time. But it's funny, I just remembered that. Oh, yeah, it was a big scandal. I'm sure you guys remember, maybe you remember Joey Buttafuoco. Joey Buttafuoco. Joey Buttawipo. I mean, they even made cartoons about Joey Buttafuoco and that chick that he was, and she shot his wife. Like, oh, I gotta go. Let me leave you guys on that, right? That's just awesome. This is you want weird bending and the opening keyboard on the song "Little Lies" by Fleetwood Mac. Love that. Yep. Because I went to the church, it was much like my black invited his church. Yeah. All right, we're over 3 hours, fellas. Jeez, we're almost 4 hours tonight. This is insane. I gotta get out of here. All right, thanks everybody for coming. Rob, you came late. Shout out to my buddy. All right, he's going back to arid zone shortly. So anyway, we're all getting out of here. Stay well, everybody, and we will do this again next time. I'll see you guys later.